That was wild, dude. Hey, what's going on, guys? William Barry here, coming at you live from the power of the internet. I wanted to watch this video, but my camera, no. How's that? There we go. I wanted to watch this video, but I didn't want to have to edit the video, and I know that Destiny pays an editor or something like that to edit these videos because he's getting a little shafted by the algorithm these days. Well, actually, he's probably doing pretty good in the algorithm, but by monetization things these days. So I'm gonna be kind of a thrifty guy here and watch Destiny react to this. Be this way, I don't have to edit out all the shit that won't air because Jubilee is assholes. So I'm kind of stealing from Destiny's editor right now. I thank you for your hard work, and I'm sorry. I'm a terrible human being. But we're watching Destiny, so hopefully that means the editor's getting paid. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, anyway, sorry. We try to move the camera to make it a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Smooth. So it doesn't move around as much when it's still moving a little bit, but it's on a way more secure monitor. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Building our cultural institutions. Well,
according to what time?
Well,
According
okay.
to what time?
Excuse me, Queen. Okay. Yeah, if you want to argue it, that's a good follow-up question. Make America great again. What year do you want to go back to? Careful. The biggest initiative they did, you're saying that the people most likely to support that would be white nationalists? I thought you said they weren't trying to court those votes.
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could...
Sorry.
Hey,
yes.
It's my boy Dave, dude. Hey, dude, I follow this motherfucker on Twitter, dude. This dude, he's a smart cookie, man. He's pretty good, man. I think he's actually showed up as one of Destiny's orbiters a handful of times, bro. I fuck with this dude. I hope that he keeps slaying in these, man. Hopefully he makes Tim fucking sweat, dude. This is gonna be wild.
I feel it. We're tapped into the same...
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants? Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could kill migrants? Yes, I am.
What the dude, there was a time I used to respect Tim Pool, man. I used to respect him when he was doing the whole like anti-corruption stuff, when he was like he was a lefty at the time or whatever. I can't remember what it was called, bro. There was like a whole movement. I think it was around the bailouts. The Bernie Madoff shit, man. I used to follow him a lot back then, dude. But when he started grifting to the right, I was like, no, I already know. I see where this is going. I've lost so much respect for this cocksucker, dude.
Okay.
You need to take Jimmy Kimmel down.
He did not say that.
Then what did he say?
Oh,
I don't know,
my
and that's why I don't
God. And he tries to weasel it back to this. Oh, my God,
Wait, if
dude.
you don't know, then why the fuck are you saying what they didn't say? That means you have to imply you know what they did say.
Actually so shameless. These people are shameless.
Strong opinion about the issue.
I don't have a strong opinion about freedom. He says the First
We're
Amendment so many
gonna pause
times he
you
doesn't have an
to
opinion about the FCC, making a phone call to get a guy removed from the air. Really?
Okay, dude, I gotta get into this, dude. I can't
on the
wait.
rise in America and have both parties abandon their oath to the Constitution. I'm here with our featured guest, moderate.
Oh, so this is what the meme is from? Because everyone's been saying moderate, dude? Okay. So they called Tim Pool is at the White House on the behest of the president, dude. Isn't he in like the fucking press pool fucking thing? Hold on, man. There's no way. Oh, we could probably trim right here. Okay.
Tim Pool.
Hi, I'm Tim Pool. I'm the host of Timcast IRL, and today
He's
I'm
a moderate
surrounded by
now.
progressives.
Motherfucker is extreme. Okay, let's just say before we get into this, Tim Pool is a fucking moron. I think he said that we're heading to a civil war for like the entirety of the anti-woke movement, half of the anti-SJW movement. Like, he's been on the internet screaming about how we're on a pending civil war for so fucking long that I'm losing my mind.
My first surrounded claim is that the mainstream left commits more violence than the mainstream right.
If you'd like to be the first debater, get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Bum.
How's it going? Hey.
Great to meet you, buddy. How
Likewise.
you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
There seems to be like a broader implication with your
Mason, I recognize this guy, dude.
prompt that there's this domestic threat from mainstream left politicians. Like, do you really think Hillary Clinton's like leading the Vanguard Revolution Party? Like,
No.
what is your take?
When you look at the violence that we do see, it's from
Dude, he looks like he's aging so. Isn't he like half like Korean or some shit? What is happening to you, bro? Like just being near Donald Trump, did you absorb his fucking evil karma, dude, or his chakra, dude? Like, what the fuck, bro? He's not aging gracefully, bro. Like, just, he used to have the same little baby face for like 20 years. He just gets near Trump and starts suckling the fucking dark energy from the bottom of his balls. Fuck.
I describe it as from blunt to acute, which is with the fringe extreme right, you'll see extreme mass shootings. You'll see, someone will show up and they'll unload on people, things like that. On the left, though, you'll see riots, vandalism that you don't see from the right. But the point I'm making is that when you break down the ideology that motivates individuals that commit political violence, there is more often an overlap between what the Democratic Party espouses ideologically and what we see in street-level violence, as well as maybe assassinations.
What is it?
With the Republican?
Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, he's not really saying shit. And the question is, like, that he asked him is, like, is there any, like, mainstream Democrats calling for violence like there is mainstream fucking Republicans? Like, say what you will, Matt Walsh may not be a part of the Republican Party per se, but he's a part of the Republican ecosphere, and Matt Walsh called for literal civil war. Steven Crowder is also among the people that were calling for civil war. We actually had, like, active people in, like, the president's own fucking shit. Like, the president himself said that, like, Democrats that tell people that they can literally tell the president no if that law is unconstitutional, that's treason. Like, that's the president using extreme rhetoric to try it. Like, like, there's no leader in the Democratic Party saying these things. And, like, there are no big people in the Democratic establishment other than Hassan Piker, which I don't consider him part of the Democratic establishment. That motherfucker is DSA. That motherfucker is not a Democrat. So when he says crazy shit, we don't have to own up to that because he's not on our side, dude. Fuck.
Would espouse.
I mean, I couldn't disagree more. What ideologies that the Democratic Party is promoting that leads to these types of violence? Anytime you see an act of violence that's typically attributed to the left, it is immediately condemned by every Democrat politician.
Indeed.
You couldn't point to one that actually endorses that. Or you have somebody like Donald Trump, who's literally the president of the United States, saying that we should call for the death of congressional members.
Yep. Cool, man. My boy went right where, yeah.
Who are fulfilling their civic duty and saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't fulfill illegal orders if you're in the military, and Donald Trump's asking for them to be put to death. How is that not inciting to violence? No.
Yeah, that's terrifying, but I don't give a fuck because this beanie's been so squeezed onto my head I can't think straight. And I'm a dick suck for literally one of the worst actors on any political stage. You can never sit here and wave your moral backbone at anybody when you voted for Donald Trump and you actively defend Donald Trump, who was so blatant with his corruption. Like, every moral this fucker stood on before is out the window.
No, that's absolutely terrifying. I completely disagree with that.
That's bad.
My
What
point
are you
more
gonna
so
say?
is that when you see, say, the George Floyd or the BLM riots, you end up with Biden and Kamala themselves promoting fundraisers for those accused
Not
of
true.
these crimes.
You can see Dave right here fucking taking psychic damage, bro. Like, holy fuck. Dude, Kamala Harris, like, they supported the idea of BLM, but they also just, like, flat out called for no violence.
Not true.
And in theory, we all technically support BLM's claim. We just disagree. I disagreed with the organization of BLM and the actors of BLM, but I agree with the claim that Black Lives Matter. Yes, and like every person does. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? But like, that doesn't mean you have to be in support of the BLM riots. You know what I mean? The things that cost billions of dollars of taxpayers' money. The things that, like, you know, when they actually literally did violent crime. You don't have to support that. You can support the spirit of BLM and what it stood for, the principle that it stood for, and not necessarily the dumb actions of stupid actors. You know what I mean?
True. That's a very strong claim. Kamala retweeted one time a bail fund for Minnesota. I think it got like 140 likes, maybe. And that's for bail. Bail is a legal process thing. It's not a get out of jail.
Yeah, dude. She was just pointing to people to their rights as afforded by the Constitution. Well, I guess that's even like, these things are intrinsic to you as a human. We just didn't have proper definitions of what any of that meant.
Free card. It doesn't release people from prison who are murderers to let them roam the streets and kill more people. It's not. It's bail. It's a judge still has to approve it. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's so weird how they try to twist this. Meanwhile, Donald Trump literally pardoned all the J6ers, which is literally a get out of jail free card.
And Kamala themselves promoting fundraisers for those accused of committing these crimes. During
which crimes could you point to?
So in Minnesota, you had there was a firefighter who opened a sports bar. It was burned down. In fact, when the local news went to interview him about his dream bar being burnt to the ground, it was ransacked. I don't think it was burned to the ground. They while they're filming the story, there were people looting a safe and stealing it.
Well, I think that there's absolutely a big difference between a lot of the private buildings or private enterprises that were targeted versus like public institutions like the police precinct. Like you're somebody.
Is Dean Withers here? Does Dean Withers get up there? Like I'm always so scared, man, because Dean Withers, he's such a bright young guy, but I'm always afraid that he's just gonna go down like the DSA dick suck path, because he probably wants to maximize his influence. I don't understand that approach, dude. Like, why would you, like, as someone who is literally a reaction person on YouTube, I can tell you that having a bunch of people that I don't like ideologically like the shit that you do. Yeah, I might get a bigger subscriber base, but that means I get less people that follow me and less of my content. So my content suffers because of that. Like, if your 9th million Trump bad video is going to appease a lot of people, but like if you're bringing in like people that are antithetical to your views outside of Trump bad, like they're gonna fracture hard after Trump bad. Like the Trump it can't just be Trump bad forever. It can't just always be MAGA bad. Like there's got to be something more there, right?
Who I've seen the iconography on your show. You're a big patriotic guy. You love 1776, right? That wasn't the most peaceful way that we had, criticizing our government or saying that tyranny shouldn't exist.
How long was the Revolutionary War going on before they signed the Declaration?
I will say that the police precincts, the same people who committed a brutal murder using state violence,
what the fuck was that? What? How long did the Revolutionary War last? Who gives a fuck?
I think we can understand why people would rightfully be mad without any accountability. Which political parties in
control of the police department in Minneapolis?
That is not the central. First of all, we're talking about the mainstream political left. Which politicians are endorsing that type of behavior?
Never said politicians were endorsing it.
Then what's the mainstream left?
So you have activists whose ideology aligns with politicians.
You'd say that
activists are not the mainstream left, bro. What?
Wouldn't you say? Isn't it fair to say that an activist definitionally is not like on the mainstream? Like, don't activists tend to be more radical, like definitionally speaking? I feel like they kind of are. No,
like
activist.
Those activists.
Like, did you see how we went down this rabbit hole so we didn't have to answer any questions and then try to reframe the conversation to make it about like who ran the city? Like that's not the point of the conversation, man. So good on dude here for refocusing that conversation. Like so many of us get sucked down rabbit holes that we don't have to fall down. Like that's not the question I asked you. He actually kind of fucked up by letting it go that long, but he's dope enough to know that he caught it. You know what I mean? Because once he realized he was on a defensive question, like that's not what we're here to talk about. You know what I mean?
Identify with the Democratic Party.
The ones that are committing violence. The Democratic Party.
Because let me tell you, the leftists that you could talk to, not the biggest fans of the Democratic
Party in favor of Black Lives Matter?
I would say yeah. I'd say even most moderates. I'd say actual moderates, not right-leaning conservatives who claim to be moderates.
Were the riots
usually those people.
Yes, dude. What's up, Soul? Right-leaning conservatives that pretend to be moderates, dude. Fuck yeah, man. That's fucking glorious. Yeah, dude.
Also, the riots. First of all, the vast majority of riots didn't even have rioters in them. And the vast majority of the protests were peaceful. I mean, obviously there were a lot of violent ones too, but I mean, there were a ton. It was like one of the largest like protest environments in the United States. And also, I know that
this is political. Damn, yeah, dude. Dude, people like point to like 2024 or sorry, 2020 as like just pure war. When people say that like the vast majority of the protests were peaceful, they're not wrong. We did incur a fuck ton of damage from that time. Like, and it is true that like certain people people died, certain people's rights were stripped away, like Chaz, Chop, all that shit. It was fucking insane. And we're talking billions of dollars of damages. Like, none of this should be just swept under the rug. And people have gone to jail, many people, over what they did during 2020. But it is also still true that a majority of them were peaceful. Like, these were the largest protests in the world. Like, we're talking like single digit percentiles of these were, maybe even lower than that, doing rioting. Like, riots happened and there was a lot of bad shit that happened, but by and large, categorically, they were fucking peaceful. Like, I don't know what's so hard for people to like wrap their head around when there's two things that are true here. I don't get it.
Like one of the largest like protest environments in the United States. And also, I know that we're not allowed to talk about COVID when it impacted Trump, but we are allowed to talk about COVID when it impacted other things, depending on what we're talking about. Like, part of the BLM riot stuff probably was the fact that people had literally fucking nothing else to do because there was nothing else fucking going on, and people have been locked indoors for fucking however many months, and people were like, fuck it, let's go do some shit because there's nothing else to do here.
Agree that police violence is something that should be discouraged.
Were the riots Black Lives Matter motivated?
They were motivated.
By Black Lives
I figured we were gonna have to he was gonna be swapping like the video across the screen and flipping it around and doing a bunch of wild shit. I guess maybe Jubilee got rid of their "you can't react to our shit."
Matter. So that ideology is espoused by.
No,
so my point is
Black Lives Matter is not encouraging violence. Black Lives Matter is recognizing systemic inequality.
Never said
where it
they were.
happens.
They were telling people to go be violent. I'm saying that there are violent individuals, and with the riots, a lot of them, which we've seen.
Can you tell me
how
who
about this?
Tell me who Chris Ray is? Do you know who Chris Ray is?
Explain it to
The
me.
YouTuber?
Oh,
Chris
YouTube.
Ray Gun? No, it must be somebody else. Chris Ray or is he talking about Ray the fuck me? Was it the temporary FBI or CIA director? Who am I thinking of?
A show talking about politics every day. I would think that you know. But Chris Ray was.
Let's not do this.
I think it was after Comey.
I don't know who Chris Ray is, dude. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend that like I'm equipped to answer that question. I don't know what the fuck who Chris Ray is. But and I don't do politics full time. Fuck all of y'all.
Sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Chris Ray was the former FBI director under Donald Trump's first term. He said that he even agreed with the findings from both the Congressional Research Section that right-wing violence is way more proliferate in this country than left-wing violence.
That's not meaningful to a voter. Let me explain. The Republican Party rejects neo-Nazism, correct?
No, Donald Trump invited Nick Fuentes to have dinner with him, with Kanye West.
So tell me one politician who went out and campaigned for the neo-Nazi vote.
I'm blanking on his name, Gozar, and
Is that a mainstream
Arizona.
view
Oh my
in this country?
God! Well, do they ever support neo-Nazis? Yeah. Nick Fuentes invited to dinner. Okay. Well, do they ever campaign on these things? Gozar did. He said a bunch of crazy things. Okay. Well, does he represent like all of that? It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but remember, he couldn't point to a single Democrat. Like, dude. Oh, man. Oh, fuck. Christ, man. Look like a fucking demi. Or no, not a demi. Like a fucking demon, bro.
We could talk about Matt Gaetz. We could talk about.
Matt Gaetz is not endorsing neo-Nazism, and Donald Trump
Are
said
you kidding me?
Nazis should be condemned entirely.
No, he's literally partnering with the America First movement. He was
America First
chosen
and neo-Nazism are totally different.
bro. So
Oh my god, dude. The America First, the fucking thing. I'm gonna put these glasses on because this light is literally killing me. Oh yeah, that's how we do it up in this house, bro. We look ridiculous. There we go.
you don't think do you think Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi? I forgot you've had him on your show. Oh my god, I literally forget.
I wouldn't describe Nick Fuentes as a neo-Nazi.
You don't think that Nick Fuentes celebrating Adolf Hitler is not neo-Nazi adjacent?
I think you have to be very specific on what your terms are. And so when you go to an American voter and say something like,
This is our moderate, by the way, everybody. This is our moderate.
Indeed.
A moderate dude you can work with. This dude is, I once had a conversation with my buddy, and I love my buddy, and he's a huge channel supporter. He's been a huge He's my best friend, dude. You know what I mean? So he's always told me, man, they always just put one guy up there that's like moderately decently trained, and then they bring in 20 dipshits. I'm sorry, dude. My boy is cooking. Why is it when the conservatives go on, Candace Owens, Dave Rubin, this dipshit, what was it? There was another dude. Fuck, dude, I can't remember. Oh, Jordan Peterson, you know. All these conservative guys, when they come on, they're walking away looking like fucking morons. You know what I mean? Like, they're just getting trounced, my dude. But, like, when the liberals go on, even Mehdi Hassan, you know, who is more DSA adjacent than I'm personally comfortable with, like, when these guys go on, they decimate. Like, Dean Withers goes on, he decimates. When Destiny goes on, he decimates. When like everyone, like who was it? There's a no, not Josiah. There's a Isaiah or something like that. He goes on, he decimates. Like they all go on, they perform very well, and everyone's like, well, man, all the crazies went to talk to them, dude. It's probably because a lot of people that believe in this shit anymore are only the crazies, and the liberals were just looking super like not insane. Like it's so crazy, dude.
Keep going.
So when you go to a regular American and ask them what is meaningful to them in terms of an election, you don't.
Wait a second. Hold on. Wait, I think I'm noticing something. With the facial hair constantly covering up the head, the insane hypersemantic arguments to avoid taking accountability for crazies on their side. Hold on. Hold on. What? Is something happening here? Is there something happening here?
Don't have Democrats or Republicans in
Tim Pool and Pisco are the same person, except Pisco's like, again, when you get a conservative version, they're not as good. The conservative model just doesn't operate on the same wavelength. Say what you will. Pisco might be the most pedantic debate bro person on earth, but he's vastly more intelligent than Tim Pool.
endorsing violence. But you also don't have Charlie Kirk's a good example. He threw out Nick Fuentes. He threw out white identitarians.
Yeah, because they were personally feuding constantly, not because of some huge ideological disagreement. To be fair, they did have ideological disagreements, but it was mainly the personal vitriol between the two.
From his events, they were not welcome. That's mainstream. You don't have riots coming from the Republican Party and the right, although you do have January 6th and things like that. When you take a look at the shootings of the Tesla facilities, the execution of Aaron.
Dude, his language is so dismissive. January 6th was the worst riot we'd ever seen. Dare I say, an insurrection. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, BLM might have been, like, 4 people, but a lot of the violence of BLM, I wouldn't necessarily say was politically motivated. Most of that was opportunist bullshit of people just like, I can finally break something. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's angry enough, no one will know. I can go get that TV I've always wanted. And I just spent like 5 months locked up in my house on Twitter or TikTok all day. Honestly, bro, I think all of us were almost homicidal at this time. You know what I mean? Just homicidal. So, like, you know, it kind of makes sense.
Danielson, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and one of the attempted assassinations on Donald Trump, not the Pennsylvania one. You can see the underlying ideologies overlap with the Democratic Party. When you take a look at like Nick Fuentes, he's opposed to the Republican Party. He's been actively endorsing Democrats right now.
He's been saying that the Republican Party is too left for him. It's not that he's opposed to the Republican Party in principle.
This is literally my point. No, Nick Fuentes comes out and says, "Do not vote for Trump." The mainstream Republican Party is at odds with these people.
No, again, if you're looking at all of the empirical data, the violence is way more on the right.
But
so
it's hard
you can
to
say
like.
Nick Fuentes needs to shut his fucking mouth, man. He does more damage to this entire space by merely existing than Chris Wray was FBI director of 2017 to 2025. Oh, wow. So we had the same FBI director that Donald Trump put in through the entire presidency of Biden. Oh.
Because his point is just going to make you sound like a fucking loony radical to everybody, but, you know, fuck me, I guess, right? Like, the right-wing violence in the past year and a half has been involved in, like, the mass vigilante extrajudicial kidnapping and then, like, trafficking to other nations of brown people in this country. But because they did it with ICE And because Donald Trump did it with airplanes on Friday night, Saturday mornings, it's not seen as right-wing violence. This is all
true, dude. Because that shit was found illegal, right? Like, that's why Nancy Mace and all these people are like, let go. And not Nancy Mace. What was her name, dude? Who is that crazy chick that was going to the border and doing crazy shit? I don't remember what her name was. But like, dude, what the fuck, man?
always the asymmetry, or at least in my lifetime, it's been the asymmetry between left-wing and right-wing violence, is the government is always exempt from these conversations, right? The government doesn't count as participating in the left or right violence. It's just the government doing government things. But when the right is in power, god damn, do they bring the executive down on their perceived political enemies and use them in the most violent ways possible. And then when they're out of office, it's like, well, what right-wing violence have? How would you be so fucking retarded to go out and do right-wing violence as a right-winger?
I love it when he says it because I don't get yelled at when he says it. You know what I mean? Like, thank you.
When you can join ICE for free. Why would you ever do that? You don't need to you don't need to get the white cloak out. You can just get the immigration vest, right? It's like, but that's a whole other. I think people would think you're radical. I think even in the public can make that argument, but it's
feelings are. You
that's
can
not
say
my
that.
feeling nor the claim.
No,
it's not meaningful to a voter to say we don't like neo-Nazis and white supremacists because the Republican Party is not saying they want to white America.
Let's be objective of where the violence is coming from, and if it's more substantially coming from the right, that is a problem that needs to be tackled.
It's not coming from Charlie Kirk.
Okay, we're not talking about Charlie Kirk. We're talking about the overall ideology.
Oh my God! It's not coming from Charlie Kirk. That's not the point. How do these people lie this way? And the MAGA people that are just watching and go, "Yeah, man, that was a good own." How do you? He's not even standing on facts or anything. Like that's not even. That has nothing to do with the question. What the? I think the world is cooked, dude. Like the fact that Trump even has like 30-something% has me like, what the fuck is wrong with the world, dude?
All about Charlie Kirk.
So you're telling me, that the prioritization of hierarchies, both ethnic, both cultural, that is not a dangerous ideology. But something like BLM that says, hey, maybe we should take back police violence. Maybe we should have accountability for people who are in charge of certain aspects of our nation. Committing violence on citizens, those are absolutely completely different ideologies. And the fact that you're saying it is more motivating for violence, that the left wing is encouraging people to take those that are committing violence accountable.
In the last 10 years, there have been over 465 incidents of left-motivated.
Are we doing a Ren reaction? No, that was yesterday. Right now, we're just watching a debate happen while it vibes, man. We're just vibing right now.
Political violence that aligns with the Democratic Party.
Data set substantiates over 465 instances of Democratic aligned or mainstream left political violence in the past decade. In reference to this claim, party leadership repudiation cannot consistently be used to exclude right-wing violence while attributing all left-coded violence to Democrats.
One on the Republican side, which is January 6th, which admittedly is particularly egregious. January 6th was that's why we talk about blunt versus acute. Now the problem is, I already know
in my life heard this distinction before Tim Pool made it. Blunt versus acute. Maybe in some jargon or in some reporting or some literature, I've never heard this before. Usually it is acute versus chronic, short and fast and sudden, and chronic is a condition over a long time period. Acute things might be harder to prevent. Chronic things we should be doing better at preventing. Acute things usually need more dramatic, fast response. Chronic things, you can address this, et cetera. But I've never heard this like blunt versus acute thing before.
All you're going to say, you're going to cite FBI stats in Cato, but it's not meaningful to me or any voter to tell me why white supremacists are violent, because I don't like white supremacists, nor will I vote for them. And more importantly, you bring up Nick Fuentes. He is not aligned with Republicans, and he's advocated against them.
I think for somebody who has a political show where you talk about this stuff every day, you are completely misreading the conversation when you're saying that those that are engaged in like civil disobedience are like Democrat voters. You're telling me that those people are canvassing for Democratic voters, which is absolutely not true.
Absolutely in favor of canvassing. I'm in favor of protesting.
I'm not saying that you're against that.
So don't try and frame my argument like I'm upset with protests, because I've defended Black Lives Matter blocking streets. I've defended left-aligned progressive groups like anti-capitalist groups blocking.
Like, and then we switch to like outrage. Like the thing that the irony is that people like Tim Pool made their career on getting mad at people doing exactly what he's doing. Like, they would say, well, then you're not holding an argument. Facts don't care about your feelings. Right now, we're just talking. Like, why are you in defense mode? Defending the, like, this is what I've done to defend this, and defend the point and argument that you're fucking making right now. Shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck is this This pandering shit.
Blocking street and environmental groups. I stand with civil disobedience, and I've defended them every single time. If you want to block a road, there's
what
a
is it that you're saying is more violent on the left? You mentioned Black Lives Matter. You mentioned these protests.
Dude, it's Trump, and yeah, Trump has ruined everything, bro. Like, before Trump, we used to have like actual conversations about policy, issues, what mattered, what doesn't matter. Now we're just like culture war bullshit. The internet became like, it makes me so mad that like my entire life, this is the shit I grew up watching on the internet, and now it's becoming like actual politics. Dude, I'm technically a centrist. I'm center left. You know what I mean? I don't go that far. I mean, I'm pretty progressive in what policies I want, but like, I'm still center left, like on like every other thing. You know what I mean?
About the Tesla facilities being unloaded upon or shot up, right? These are motivated by an ideology that you will hear from Elizabeth Warren. Now, of course, she's not telling people to shoot anybody, but she is coming out saying Elon Musk is a dangerous threat to this country. And then
Elon Musk is a dangerous threat to this country. Pre-election stuff happening in my country currently. Nice. It's weird, like the whole world kind of does elections around the same time. Because like we're also having an election around then that hopefully should give us some more effective means to put the boot to Trump a little bit more, if he fucking listens to anything Congress fucking says. Is the next Trump? Yeah. Populism is is growing, dude. A lot of people like our old, like the millennials, dude. We're getting in, and we're just victim complex, bro.
You end up with someone going and pulling a rifle up and shooting up a Tesla.
It's when you understand that the right always says politicians are not responsible for individual actions. Elizabeth Warren saying, hey, maybe we should have the same sort of economic
It's also really annoying that like people can, like, there's a reason why you are typically encouraged to just stay away from politics if you work in business, because like it's just all you're going to do is alien to some people. There's very little gain for it. Why would you inflame so many people by, and it's not like Elon came out and gave milk toast political takes.
Shit. Dude, I can't speak to how your country's going, and I know very little about your politics, man. But it's good that you're getting engaged and voting for the world that you want, bro. Most people, they sit out of politics, and it's a dangerous game, man. What happens affects the world, you know. Even where you're at, bro. All right, hold on. Let's see. Can we get this to come down a little bit? There we go. Whoa. Now it's a little too. There we are. And there we go. There we go. Cool. You can check it out.
He came out and gave
but I still won't know like the policies. You know what I mean? Like, what would be good for your country? I can't answer that. You know what I mean?
Canvassing. I'm in favor of protesting.
I'm not saying that you're against that.
So
but I'm saying
don't try and frame my argument like I'm upset with protests, because I've defended Black Lives Matter blocking streets. I've defended left-aligned progressive groups like anti-capitalist groups blocking streets and environmental groups. I stand with civil disobedience, and I've defended them every single time. If you want to block a road, there's
what is it that you're saying is more violent on the left? You mentioned Black Lives Matter. You mentioned these protests.
Let's talk about the Tesla facilities being unloaded upon or shot up, right? These are motivated by an ideology that you will hear from Elizabeth Warren. Now, of course, she's not telling people to shoot anybody, but she is coming out saying Elon Musk is a dangerous threat to this country. And then you end up with someone going and pulling a rifle up and shooting up a Tesla.
It's when you understand that the right always says politicians are not responsible for individual actions. Elizabeth Warren saying, hey, maybe we should have the same sort of economic. It's also really annoying that like people can, like, there's a reason why you are typically encouraged to just stay away from politics if you work in business, because like it's just all you're going to do is alien to some people. There's very little gain for it. Why would you inflame so many people by, and it's not like Elon came out and gave milk toast political takes. He came out and gave.
Yeah, he gave, dude. There was one where Elon Musk was like on stage in Germany. I've tried searching this and like I can't find it anywhere. I think Elon used his mass sum of money to like, or I'm fucking crazy and I'm hallucinating shit. But I swear to God, I saw him on stage like talking to Germans saying like you got to forgive yourself for the Holocaust, and then saying some fucking wild shit. And then I think the leader of their Republican Party or some lady that was a blonde lady was like sitting next to him, and you could see her like sliding her chair away so that she wouldn't be stuck in a picture with him, dude. It was fucking wild, dude. Oh no, dude, you guys having a far right party growing there? Oh no. Oh, dude, my few conversations I've had with a handful of Canadians has me convinced that they have a growing right population that a lot of Canadians are unaware of. But I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Hardcore politics takes. If I was a Tesla owner, I would be resentful of the fact that the CEO of my company is like putting me in the crosshairs by taking such a strong stance politically on like the most divisive issues on the planet, constantly on Twitter. That would make me feel kind of shitty. Not that that excuses any of the Tesla attacks or whatever. I want to say there were like 12 Tesla cars that were...
Yeah, dude. And listen, man, I was saying this at the time. Like, okay, I have this superpower where I can piss off everybody. When Elon Musk first bought Twitter, I remember I was like, hell yeah, dude, I like Elon Musk. Remember that picture behind me was because I was an Elon Musk bro. They are social democrat. Nice, dude. What was it? Oh, yeah. So when Elon Musk bought Twitter, I was super stoked. And then, like, as soon as he walked in with that sink, and I was like, that's a fucking stellar meme, dude. Let that sink in. That's fucking sick. And then immediately he fired 70% of the staff. And I remember I took to Facebook and I was like, Elon Musk firing so many people because of their political ideology is not only morally bankrupt, but absolutely disgusting. People's politics should not fucking hire and fire them at any point, at any time, unless you're joining like a political campaign. But like, ethically, I called it out. I pissed off all of my right-wing friends. And I'd argue, it's like, dude, you would argue that like if someone firing you for being Republican is wrong, you cannot then celebrate when someone fires someone for being progressive. This is disgusting behavior. And it was that day I decided to say, fuck Elon Musk. Off of that one action. He still do funny interviews and stuff, and I'd be like, hey, that's based. But like, I was done supporting Elon Musk. Yeah, like, maybe, but his political involvement afterwards would suggest that he just hates progressives and liberals, and that But anyway, so I took to like I was on his side on a lot of issues at the time, and I thought he was a really intelligent man, and I called him out on my Twitter, fought with all my Republican friends. I didn't give a shit. People just don't seem to do that. Regardless, you know what I mean? Like, you have to stand on like your principles, and if someone is doing something that like you literally advocated for, or to like advocate against, and they're doing something you advocated against, you should still call it out, even if you agree with the underlying principle of their ideology. Like, it shouldn't be sides politics. It should be, I'm for this principle, and whoever fails to meet this principle will be called out for that failure. It shouldn't be, well, I'm okay when Republicans do it and I'm not okay when Democrats do it, or vice versa. That's not how it's supposed to work when we have these conversations. Like, our system is built on political goodwill. It's built on working across the system. That's why we have 3 branches of government that can all keep each other in check. It's why half of our country is more Republican and the other half of our country is more liberal, you know what I mean? Or more Democrat. It's because we're supposed to keep each other in check and work together to actually get things done. The gridlock was a design of our liberal system. Like, and all of this was built on the back of like liberalism and the idea and concept of liberalism. Like, we're supposed to have friction. That's the roadblock. But right now, there's nothing but pure friction. Conversations aren't happening. We're not breaking down differences and barriers. We're not understanding one another. We're just locking ourselves into our echo chambers and getting more radicalized in the process. And people like this motherfucker, Tim Pool, is a symptom of like further exacerbating that issue with his divisive rhetoric and the insane shit he says and does, dude. It's absolutely fucking grotesque.
Or firebombed or something over the course of a month or two. Not that that's acceptable, but it's not like there were thousands of them or hundreds.
And the whole reason I said all of that was to say that like when BLM happened, I called out the protesting that went into riots, and like when Tesla were being attacked, I was calling that out too. We do not have to be a party that condones terrorism. Attacking these Tesla dealerships was terrorism. We should call out terrorism. And most Democrats do. If you're out there attacking Teslas because you're so mad at fucking Elon Musk, you are not in our coalition, bro. We do not want you. We do not want bad actors that seize any opportunity to cause damage to the brand of what it means to be a Democrat. You can disagree with Elon Musk. You don't have to go actually commit terrorism that negatively impacts people's jobs. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Hundreds or dozens of dealerships, whatever. I think it was like 12, which again is not good. But it's like, god damn, when Elon, who has the most recognizable and identifiable cars on the road, goes out and says some of the most inflammatory shit, and then there's like the thing to attack is right there. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
They have in Scandinavia.
Why was
That's not her encouraging, go shoot up a Tesla facility. Why was Donald Trump saying, let's hang the people.
It's also like the same thing right now that they do with data centers. We need to move away from this disgusting rhetoric. Like, attacking data centers is not okay. Like, we need to have serious, honest conversations about what's happening at data centers and the damage that it's causing to the environment around it. And we need to put pressure on these corporations and companies to build more effective things, make sure that they're not cutting corners. But data centers are going to be a reality in this world. We need it. You know what I mean? Now, we need to have conversations about where to put them, not just spam attack data centers en masse. Like, people didn't care about data centers before AI. It's just a new thing that people want to hate on. But there are legitimate concerns with data centers and what negative impact they can have and what damage they can cause and what amount of resources that they require. And then what kind of cost is that going to do to the surrounding town? Like, data centers don't create the same levels of jobs like an Amazon warehouse does. Like, an Amazon warehouse is going to hire thousands of people. How many people work at a data center? Data centers are primarily run by, you know, I would imagine smaller crews, you know. I think you're getting less jobs, but it's going to increase like literally all of the energy costs, the resource costs for the entire town. It's going to have a bigger effect on that. It's going to increase like your energy premiums. Like, there are honest conversations that we need to have about what data centers can do to an environment. But like, we can't just do that by like telling people to go attack them. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Let's hang the people who encourage those in the military to actually fulfill their duties. That is completely...
My claim is not that the right is completely
innocent. He's the leader of the Republican Party, my dude.
I love it. Then they retreat into, well, I'm not saying we're perfect. Nah, dude, you're not perfect. You're the worst actor on the stage. No. You don't get to hide, well, you know, we all make mistakes. That's not the point. You have a president literally fucking saying that we should kill people, man. For like telling them to do their lawful duty as they took an oath to do. That's a different thing. Like, and you don't get to sit here and say the left is primarily violent when the president of the United States is doing open corruption and actual violence. Come on, man.
To say that these are equivocable at all is completely
false. I condemn 100% what Donald Trump said, calling for the death of those politicians.
We have to move on.
Great to meet you, Sam.
Likewise.
Dude. I'm not looking forward to the next 2 years. When we start going to these Democratic primaries, man, it's going to be bloody. And then when we get into the actual debates between Republican and Democrats, it's going to be so fucking bloody, dude. The EU, we're creating a fusion reactor to the Tomahawk reactor. Europe is too. Dude, we need to move to nuclear, like, right now.
If you'd like to be the next debater, get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, let's go, senorita. Let's fuck this fool up.
What I find really interesting is the whole premise of like the Occupy Wall Street movement was to protest, right?
That's what it was fucking called, the Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, that's when I used to really like Tim Pool back then, bro. Fuck, I've been watching these motherfuckers for 20 years, dude. I'm a broken individual. He's throwing a lot of stuff into it, though. It's the largest user in the world. It will be. Dude, sick, man. I wish my country was moving to more intelligent energy means. I really do. We have so much open space to build things that shouldn't negatively impact lives, bro.
Right?
Indeed.
It was specifically geared towards making sure that the general public was understanding the situation at the time, which had a lot to do with anti-capitalist motives, right? And so when we're talking about who's more violent than who, we have to be very specific that the violence that is recorded in the data is not ideological violence. It's not this like rhetoric. It has to be evidentiary. So
Nice, dude. She's bringing some, like, I don't know where she's going, and she's going to say stuff that I probably don't know anything about, dude. I'm about to learn something on a Jubilee debate. Holy fuck.
if you're going to
Listen, I get balance, really do, but why did the insurrection not get discussed? Like, Trump's felonies were primary bullshit. Why not him? Well, so Donald Trump, he did the smart thing, but I would say that it could probably have destroyed our country. After January 6th and people started going to jail and people had to like admit to things, and Donald Trump literally just went to the Supreme Court with a lawyer and said, I can't be charged for this. I demand immunity. And then the Supreme Court gave him presidential immunity. So no one could do anything. Like he was like his court case was in New York for one of them, and it was going to be a pretty fucking a lot of people said it was going to be a pretty open case. Like they had to throw it out right before the verdict started going live. Like it took us way too long, dude. But yeah, dude, Donald Trump went and demanded criminal immunity for it. He didn't even try to plead a case. He didn't even build one. He just said, I'm the president and I was doing what was in the best interest for the country. And they gave it to him, man. They said, fuck yeah, you did, daddy, because it was also the Supreme Court. He got to put 3 people on after Democrats got robbed of a seat under Obama. Like Mitch McConnell or whatever his name was refused to seat any, like even here, the presidential or the Supreme Court seat. They delayed the Artemis. Oh, I don't know much about that one, buddy. Like, bro, Donald Trump he's the luckiest person on earth, dude. Like the things he inherited was just fucking wild.
to say like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and any leftists that are associated with that are automatically violent. That's just not the case.
I didn't say that.
But that's what you're implying.
No, I'm implying that when you have riots in this country, overwhelmingly, the underlying ideology aligns with the mainstream left ideology of this country.
But that's not the same thing, man. They're not correlative. There's no major Democrats urging on BLM, like the actual violence. Almost all of them condemned any violent action the second it happened. Dude, they're fucking. It's not it's not the same thing. Yes. Were a lot of the people that went to these protests progressive? Well, yeah, because they're at an event probably more or less aligned, more so with progressive values than not. But that doesn't mean that like the progressives are more violent. Like I hate like these people, man.
You're saying in your prompt that you wrote.
Oh, fuck. Somebody brought this up to me in an email, and I haven't made this point recently, but it is a really good point. That we're very quick to say that the BLM stuff, like we just kind of like take that one on the chin as like left-wing violence, but it wasn't actually really at all. It was crime. There were people that...
The U.S. is far left is quite positive about communism. Yeah, dude. I am not very fond of communism, and my hatred for communism is starting to sour some of my love for socialism, or like a liberal version of socialism, because I think socialism has a lot of good things to it. But communism is so cancerous and it's so brain rot. I don't mind having more people have a seat at the table when we talk about where money goes. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And I'm for government sharing more money. Like, I'm cool with that. I would like bigger safety nets, more of those things. But I don't want to force private entities into like co-ops. And then anything above beyond that, I'm kind of like, I don't know about all that, dude. Like, I don't know about all that, dude. I'm okay with having a richer class of people. And I'm not saying that like every billionaire has to give up all of their money for like the greater, like, fuck all that. I'm not getting onto that. Building handle that position is another, yeah, dude. So I would rather stick with my liberalism that can have socialist elements. I like my liberalism system, any system that and keeps the rights of an individual tantamount to the sacred order, then I'm on board. Because as soon as you get rid of that, dude, we can start doing for the greater good shit, and I don't like the greater good shit. Like literally thousands, if not hundreds, Baltic people were sent to Siberia. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Communism is the worst. And my hatred for communism and people like Hassan Piker that push that shit to young people that like want to hear about socialism, and then they corrupt socialism to like literally send these people down the Marxist like pipeline. It's like, dude, come the fuck on, man. You should like, dude, Mao was a bad guy. All right. He's a bad guy.
That were out there rioting because they thought they could fucking be opportunists or whatever the fuck over all of the
true
over all the protests that were happening. But like, are we really saying, because conservatives will try to fucking deflect on anything being the fault of their rhetoric ever, right? The Buffalo shooter, all these other things. Oh, they don't defend neo-Nazis, whatever. But then it's like, okay, well, for BLM, like all the rioting stuff, that was left-wing violence. Like, was it though?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
See, no, it wasn't, dude. The protests were left-wing. The violence, there were probably like Chaz and Chop were definitely left-wing like far leftist terrorist shit. Like, and then like, dude, they were terrible, dude. Like taking over sections of town and declaring it its own country, where they got new leaders and dictators, and then like they demanded resources from the people around them, and like a bunch of rapes and shit happened. Like, it was fucking terrible, bro. And that was like far left-wing shit, hands down, bro. Yeah, dude, Earth can't unite. But what I will say is that like a lot of it was also just people like taking shit. It wasn't like a leftist thing. A lot of the riots weren't like necessarily in the name of leftism. Like, a lot of people have like this brainwash effect that like every action by a handful of bad people. Yes, there was leftist terrorism. Yes, leftist terrorism is on the rise. Yes, leftists are fucking crazy. But like, by and large, a majority of terrorism for like the last 40 to 50 years has come from the right. And if you were to look at both political parties, one political party has animosity for the other side built into their platform. But does that mean that like a bunch of leftists on the internet don't say crazy shit? Of course they do. I'm on the internet. I'm not even a crazy leftist. I say crazy shit. Like, yeah, there are bad actors on TikTok and Twitter, but that goes across the board, dude. Like, these are two different things and two different topics and two different questions. If you were to ask me who's probably more extreme, I would probably say a leftist is more extreme than your average conservative, for sure. I would rather probably talk to a conservative over a fucking leftist, if I wanted to be brutally honest. Conversations with people very far down the left pipeline are taxing sometimes, bro. If you walk up and you're wearing a mask and you tell me your pronouns before we've said a word, I'm going to assume I'm checking out of that conversation quicker than I would with a conservative, unless the conservatives just start saying racist shit. If a conservative starts walking, I'd be like, yeah, the brownies. I'd be like, well, I don't, But if a conservative is just coming up and talking about corruption and the White House, I'd be like, yeah. Listen, there's two different points and two different arguments happening here. And the conservative will never come to the table on his side, and he's always going to operate in bad faith, because then he'd just have to admit that, yeah, a lot of the violence has been from the right wing. But why don't we talk about the uptick in violence from the left? There are attack vectors you can attack the left on right now, and stuff that like the left should contend with. The left should be condemning some of our more violent actors. And the fact that we're not speaks volumes. I want a more vocal left saying, yeah, when this person does bad, fuck that. Now, all of our content, or all of our political figureheads often do, but we still have people in our party like that are cozying up to our party like Hassan. I want my left to come out and be like, fuck Hassan Piker. Fuck anyone who supports open terrorism. If you defend the actions of bad actors on BLM, fuck you. Like, no. Like, I want a left that does that. And the fact that it doesn't is why it's so low in the polling. It would win over so many moderates if it would just have a fucking backbone and call out the overreach of the far left in our party. Now, a lot of our politicians tend to, and they condemn a lot of that shit on stage, but our media apparatus doesn't. Our media apparatus doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? Fuck. Bro, Antifa was wild popping shots at ICE camps, and ICE has been being wild about thinking they're more than their job is to. Yeah, dude. Antifa is fucking insane. And we do need enforcement mechanisms for our immigrant issues. But, like, ICE has just been a fucking bad actor on that stage as well. Like, I think that ICE either needs to be disbanded and then, like, rebuilt as a new institution, and we need to resend things back to the judiciary for 100%. But also, like, Antifa is a terrorist organization, and it shouldn't be treated as heroes just because, like, you know, like throwing bricks at cops is not good. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucked. And we need to be a party that can say that. If you're on the left, you should be able to, like, fuck that, you know? Disagree. Fascists easier to argue with because they're extreme, easier to put down with liberalism and constitution. Well, yeah, fascists are bad, dude, but so are totalitarian. The problem with, like, people that do totalitarian shit is, like, they always use populist messaging to get in power, and then, like, they corrupt from within. So it's easier to disagree with fascism because fascism just tells you that, like, yeah, we're going to take you over and put you in cages. But, like, totalitarianism always comes in under the guise of, like, I'm going to be your homie, I'm going to help you out, I'm going to fix your problems. And then when they get control and they do all their stuff, and the resources run out and everything starts going to shit, they hog it all, and then you just start dying. That's why totalitarianism, I think, is slightly a little worse than fascism, because it's like a hidden enemy from within versus, like, everyone knows what a fascist is, dude. You know what I mean? Like, when you start making crazy speeches about purging people, like, we're in a fucking dangerous game, and like, everyone just knows to lock in, dude. Unless, like, you're the people that get convinced to be a Nazi. You know what I mean?
Sure, some of it probably was, but like a whole bunch of it, which was just like breaking into buildings, like stealing shit, that was just crime. That was people rioting and taking advantage of, like, a fucking situation. Like, no, there is no democratic rhetoric. Well, no, I'm sure there were some activist people who were like, oh, all businesses suck or whatever bullshit.
Yeah, there were some, Destiny. You're kind of underselling that, buddy. Like, Chaz Chop alone were, like, probably some of the worst types of insurrection that we've seen up until January 6th.
Or Hassan defending fucking shoplifting or whatever. But to just have to take that one on the chin and say, okay, fine, all the BLM rioting stuff counts as left-wing violence, I guess, that's kind of bullshit. I feel like that's a little bit bullshit.
Is that the left is more violent than the right.
The mainstream political left commits more violence than the mainstream political right.
Right, the mainstream. And what I'm trying to tell you is
like,
that
was the average BLM riot?
And when we say mainstream, we mean people. And I even agree with that, dude. Like, the leftist type, like the mainstream leftists, like on TikTok and stuff like that, they're probably pretty crazy. I mean, but like the mainstream MAGA people are also fucking crazy. Like Matt Walsh, Tim Pool, fucking Steven Crowder. Actually, you know what? And Nick Fuentes. Now, you know what? Fuck that, dude. No, I'm not even going to take that one, dude. I think MAGA right now is unilaterally just more fucked in the head. And I would say that the MAGA numbers are shrinking. So, you know, okay. So, yeah, I wouldn't say the mainstream Republicans, because I think mainstream Republicans are starting to wake up to the dangers of MAGA. I think they are, and I think it's going to start shifting here soon. But I think right now, a majority of, like, the mainstream shit is actually still just on the right. I think Tim Pool here is entirely wrong, actually. Right. I don't know why she's biting that bullet.
Like, politically motivated. They're like, yes. Kamala and Black Lives, and we're gonna go blow this store up or whatever? Or was it like, time to get some free shit, boy? Hell yeah.
Knowing that is the actual evidence. If
It
you're
does,
talking,
actually.
no, it doesn't.
My team has put together
75
over 10 years.
75 to
465 instances.
80%.
I don't trust your team. You get so much fucking wrong on your show that you guys have openly said fuck fact checkers. People have done videos fact checking you and you guys attack them. So I don't give a fuck what your team thinks if you guys aren't even allowed to be peer reviewed. What the fuck?
Of violence, actual violence that is being tracked as domestic terrorism comes from the right. It's white supremacist
I can't see that.
groups.
And white supremacists are not in a large political party getting voted for.
Yes, they are. The
They're not.
Republican Party is a very large.
Ben Shapiro and Wall sued Candace Owens for saying genocide is bad. Assuming that's true, that makes Daily Wire wild, man. Yeah, dude. That's fucking crazy, dude. But also, fuck them for hiring Candace Owens in the first place, dude. Candace Owens is fucking insane. But, like, genocide is bad. Like, what the fuck? That's just a true statement. How do you sue someone for a true statement?
Largely right wing. It is very far right.
But they're not white supremacists, nor are
Yes,
the
they are.
Americans voting for a Republican Party because
What
they
do
want
you
white
think
supremacy.
"Make America
Oh,
Great
no.
Again" means?
Well, now we've gone.
I think it means making the economy
A little bit
improve.
too
I think
far.
it means
No.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? And if it's making the economy better, has Trump done that? Like, bro, I actually am glad that I live in fucking Canada right now, dude. Like, the prices in America are fucked. I mean, they're fucked up here too, because Trump and his tariffs and his bullshit. But fuck.
building our cultural institutions. Well,
According to what time?
Well,
According to
okay.
what time? I'll
Well,
give you that.
excuse me, Queen. Okay. Yeah, if you want to argue it, that's a good follow-up question.
I didn't even hear, dude. Fuck. I was reading chat. Hold on. I want to. Okay, hold on.
Like all the writing stuff, that was left-wing violence. Like, was it like stealing shit? That was just Democratic rhetoric. But to just, I guess, that's
the mainstream political left commits more violence than the mainstream political right.
Right, the mainstream.
No.
politically motivated or whatever. Or was it like,
No, it doesn't.
My team has put together
75
over 10 years.
75 to
465
80% of violence, actual violence that is being tracked as domestic terrorism comes from the right. It's white supremacist groups.
And white supremacists are not in a large political party getting voted for.
Yes, they are. The
They're not.
Republican Party is a very largely right wing. It is very far right.
But they're not white supremacists.
I mean, the very message of Make America Great Again is intrinsically racist. If you're talking about going back into a time when civil rights didn't exist. So, I mean, you have to be careful with how you bite that bullet. But you should say that there could be a racist message in there, and we might have some white supremacists that voted for our stuff. But the crux of Make America Great Again was not to stand at that time. What it should be is that, like, we just want to return to when we were an economic powerhouse. But, like, how are you going to navigate that? Because Tim Pool's not very articulate, dude.
Nor are
Yes,
the
they are.
Americans voting for a Republican Party because
What
they
do
want
you
white
think
supremacy.
"Make America
oh,
Great
no.
Again" means?
Well, now we've gone.
I think it means making the economy
A little bit too
improve. I
far.
think it means
No.
building our cultural institutions. Well, you can,
According to what time?
well,
According to
okay.
what time? I'll
Well,
give you that.
excuse me, Queen.
Okay, did she? Okay. Because, like, I mean, the statement alone, Make America Great Again, is not racist. But in totality of who said it and what he's inferred throughout his life, it could be perceived that way. Like, this is a man who has openly said racist things throughout most of his life and sexist things. Like, he is famous for saying that a bunch of, like, black kids should have got, like, the death penalty or something. Like, he has been famously sued multiple times by people for, saying that he was a racist landlord. Like, there is enough breadcrumbs that when you do something and you say something that might be out of pocket but with good intentions, mean less harm. But when you add the totality of the things that Donald Trump has said and done through his life, it kind of changes things. That changes the dynamic in which way people view your statement. And maybe something that may not necessarily be so bad might have been given more grace. But this is Donald Trump, and we have him on record saying crazy shit. Like, we can infer from the things that Donald Trump has said in the past. The statement alone, Make America Great Again, is not intrinsically racist. But if we're talking about going to a time frame where black people were seen lesser than, then You know what I mean? Like that is like kind of racist. Like why, like I would argue that like even if we had good economic things there, that's beyond the pale for what I would argue that we should go back to do. Dude, yeah. I mean, we have great aspirations as Americans, 100%. But yeah, we've done a lot of bad shit. I would say that we've done more good than we have bad, but we have a lot of bad on the ledger. I question the slogan. Exactly, dude. Like, I agree with the sentiment that I want to become a bigger economic powerhouse. But I don't agree that the way that we do that is by tariffing the world, cutting out all immigration, and trying to preserve the white race to whatever that means. Like, there are other things that we can do. We should expand on our trade network. We should try and collaborate with more countries. We can make deals for more natural resources because we have a higher need for them than they do, and they could have a use for medicines and other things. Like, we can make trading agreements that like far outstrip like what tariffs can gain. Like, yeah, we want to restore some of our businesses, but like we were never going to go back to mining steel or coal and shit, dude. This was all just talking points propaganda to feed on hungry people that want to get back into the prime days of like our automobile industry bubble and stuff. Like, and those things were awesome, but we need to find like more lucrative things that we can do with some of this, like these resources and stuff, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think isolationism and protectionism and like bordering the fuck up is going to solve our issues, especially when we're a service industry that takes finished products from like other countries, and then we finish them up in ours, and we make like a grander, better resource, and we sell it for a premium price that the entire world wants. We got to find ways to protect these individuals. And maybe that means that we can do some type of like co-op funding type thing through these AI corporations. Since these AI corporations are going to negatively impact these towns and structures and places that they're at, maybe they can have some type of taxation that's put on them for every form of profit they get. It goes into some type of kitty, and that kitty is then dispersed to the people because so many people's jobs could be lost by AI. Maybe it can be AI's job itself to fund the people who's losing these jobs. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's complicated, and you need smart people talking about that shit.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to argue it, that's a good follow-up question. Make America great again. What year do you want to go back to? Careful. Careful.
Probably
Yes.
the 80s.
Okay.
Because Trump's an old man.
That's
I would
say
so Make America Great Again was about going back to the time period that Donald Trump likes, and that's all it meant, and that's what we
I think Donald Trump was like, and no, he's talking about times before he was born. I don't think Donald Trump was alive in the 1920s. They'd put him like around 100 years old, bro. What the fuck? Like, he's talking about the age his parents were like younger in, bro. Like 20 years before he was born. What the fuck?
know because Trump is old. What a weak answer.
90s.
Seriously doubt he
90s
meant
were
the
great.
80s. He's much
Yeah,
older
that
than
too.
Well, your interpretation
Trump would have been
of,
like in his fucking 40s. When was he born? Was Trump born in the 40s? How old was he again? Donald Trump birth date. He was born at 46. God damn. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, dude. He was alive for, I think, like the feminism movement, and he was alive for he was also alive for the civil rights movement. Bro. Yeah, I mean, that's way more racist, bro. What the fuck? He was literally alive before the movements for the feminist movement. Well, in the 1920s saw women the right to vote. But like women then still had to fight from there for like equal, rights all the way until like I think like the 2000s, when I think it more or less became kind of a standard thing if you don't add in outside factors. So like, yeah, dude, Donald Trump has been alive before like both of those. So when he like demeans women, that comes off way more sexist. And then when he demeans fucking, like, yeah, it's way more well, like what? What the fuck? Because yeah, dude, Donald Trump, like, he's just a corrupt bitch.
46. This guy might remember seeing stuff on TV about like the fucking Korean War. God damn. 1946. That's an old motherfucker. Holy.
Donald Trump's opinions is separate from when we see a riot, what is motivating the riot. When we
His
see
opinions
an
lead his
assassination.
policies, don't they?
Indeed, and
Wouldn't you say that's what
no one
politics
here
is
is
all
making the
about?
claim that Donald Trump is innocent, nor does he not have individuals who
But you're
engage in
attempting
violence
to
based
make
on
a
similar
claim
ideologies.
that his type of
Donald
ideology
Trump
that
is older
leads
than
him-
Israel. True. So is Biden. True.
That's fucking wild, dude. Donald Trump is older than Israel? That's fucking wild, bro. What the fuck? And he's still letting Netanyahu face fuck his mouth? You're older than the country, bro, and you're letting them jam their dick in your ass this hard? Holy fuck.
His policy is not nearly as violent as the left,
How
which
many
is
riots have there been to the right?
largely anti-capitalist, which is largely anti-fascist. None of what you're saying makes any sense. It sounds like
It
you're
does.
honestly grifting a lot.
How many Republicans?
Yes! He is such a grifter. Oh. The American dream needs to be definitely rebranded, bro. Party hard. That should be the American dream, dude. Party hard.
Republican riots have there been?
I don't know the
Is it
exact
one?
number.
Maybe one in
but what are you
January 6th? This is a
classifying as a
bad one.
riot? What? Because if you're
Let's say-
conflating
let's say-
protesting with rioting,
We're not.
that's a very
Okay, Charlottesville was a Republican riot, dude. January 6th was a Republican riot. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
different
No,
thing.
we're talking specifically about people ransacking Tesla facilities, vehicles, charging
You're
stations.
so obsessed with the Tesla thing. Why don't we actually talk
I
about?
think it might be because
I mean, I
someone
don't
took
know
a
if
rifle
Musk,
and started
I don't know
shooting
if
at the
Musk is
building.
like investing in your company or something.
What
but
about
let's
the guy?
Oh my god, dude. Someone shot at a Tesla, dude. Leftists are crazy. I mean, they are crazy. Well, they are crazy. Leftists are wild, bro. We don't own them, bro.
Who took the rifle and was shooting at, I don't even know about this rifle shooting of the building for Tesla. I'm sure it happened. I don't remember the story. Remember the guy who was shooting at was it the CDC? Or was it an NIH building? It was around some vaccine shit. They started shooting.
Wait, dude. Is Destiny even in his setup? He looks like he's got a green screen on, dude.
Up what the fuck? Gee, you don't remember this? Somebody said,
maybe
people
it's
saying,
the
what
light.
wait, shots at, was it CDC? Was it a CDC building? Oh, not shots. Oh, ooh, see the AI know what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Shooter attacked CDC headquarters to protest COVID-19 vaccines. Sorry, the reason why a lot of you guys in chat might.
Thank God, dude. I don't know all the fucking crazy terrorist attacks Republicans do. But thank God Tiny does, bro. Fuck, dude. You get better informed watching this motherfucker than so many other motherfuckers, dude.
Not know anything about this is because right-wing violence literally is never spoken about by anybody in the fucking
True.
media. But anyway, the man who fired more than 180 shots with a long gun at the headquarters of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention broke into a locked safe to get his father's weapons and wanted to send a message against COVID-19 vaccines. By the way, that's a hardcore right-wing violent person, but you know.
the Tesla out of it. That has nothing to do with what your actual prompt is saying.
No, that's
It
actually what my
sounds-
claim is.
No, it sounds a lot like
Well, then you're arguing
you
something else.
decided. No, you're arguing something else because it
I am
sounds
arguing
like you
something
went
else
from
from you.
somebody who was
God, I just want to punch him in the fucking mouth. I just want to. He's just such a smarmy little fuck.
doing really important work in Occupy Wall Street to then
Which is what?
grifting all the way to defending
the important
far-right
work?
people. That's crazy.
What was the important work?
What important work?
You said I was
in
doing
terms of Occupy Wall Street,
Yes.
I think, you know, in terms of that movement, I thought it was it was one of the first times in our generation that we were able to see an actual organization against capitalism.
Can I ask you how old you were?
No, you cannot ask me
Were,
how
were
old
you
I am.
politically active during Occupy Wall Street?
Yes, I was.
Did you follow the news about me during Occupy Wall Street?
Not specifically.
And the news was that Occupy denounced the violence. I had filmed leftists deflating police tires who physically attacked me, and I was attacked by a masked individual smacking my camera out of his hand.
so
Occupy
this is a
Wall
personal
Street.
vendetta for you
Then
because
gave
a
me
single
indeed,
person
if
or
you're,
a
if you're
small
getting
group of
emotional about
people?
this, and you don't
Don't tell me Tim Pool's entire villain arc has just come because some people were mean at him at a protest. Like, I used to like watch this guy a lot back in the day. And when he started his MAGA descent, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm out.
have an argument, that's fine.
Do I look emotional, guys?
You do,
I feel pretty
because
relaxed.
you don't know what happened during Occupy, and your argument is
pretty
off
mad.
because you don't.
This honestly sounds like
Okay,
you have a
pause,
personal
pause.
vendetta from your history
argument.
that has
Pause here.
absolutely nothing with what your
Guys,
actual
you
prompt
have to
is, which
pause
is
it here.
Not an
around
argument.
You have
far-right
to
people
pause.
being much more violent than the
argument.
left.
We have to pause.
Right-wing violence doesn't exist, just like gaslighting. Because we don't do bullshit. Dude, I don't know what happened to my country, dude. I think everyone just went off the deep end. I think culture war broke everyone, or everyone just got attracted to a transsexual, and everyone tried to like go MAGA to like fight off their crave for transsexual penis, man. I don't know what it is, but holy fuck, dude. My country went off the deep end just because a handful of trans people entered our media sphere, and like it just broke their fucking brains, dude. They just shut down in real fucking time. I've never seen more offended people in my life. And the irony is that they ran on being the unoffended, dude. That's so wild.
Love the passion, but pause. All right. If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair.
She did seem a little mad, and why did they vote her out, bro? She was cooking. Fuck, I hate these people sometimes, bro.
In 3, 2, 1.
Let's go,
Nice to meet
big
you.
boy!
How's it going?
Good. I think we should just get to the heart of it. Donald Trump is a fascist. He has Nazis in his administration. His entire messaging.
Okay, maybe he's gonna be one of our crazies, but hopefully our crazies are usually not even that crazy these days. People need a cause, and these are apparently nothing better to build towards. Too many closed eyes. Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Was resonating with Nazis from the very beginning. Donald Trump, when rallying for 2024, had a massive rally in Madison Square Garden. What was the significance of that rally?
You tell me.
Yeah, it's the same place, same date as the Nazis in the 1940s. Literally.
I don't know. All right, yeah, this isn't a good. This argument's not going to win you any brownie like that. This doesn't mean anything, buddy.
Donald Trump said that immigrants are poisoning the blood of America.
True.
And their
And that
environment.
is something from the
Who also
Nazi
said that?
shit.
You tell me.
Hitler. Literally. Donald Trump has openly said things as dog whistles. So you may say,
But see, like, I feel like I don't really think Donald Trump is a Nazi, dude. I think that Donald Trump is a dipshit authoritarian that just wants people to respect and like him. And he hired some people like Stephen Miller, who is a fucking Nazi. And Stephen Miller thinks it's incredibly base to like sprinkle in. Trump doesn't admire Hitler for the Nazi stuff, though. I think Trump admires Hitler for the control that Hitler had. I just think that Trump is like a pathological fucking narcissist, and he just wants like the entire like level of respect that Hitler apparently receives for taking over. You know, I think that Trump like just got used by Nazi people. Like Stephen Miller, if you were to tell me is a Nazi or like a neo-Nazi, I would probably agree with that 100%. Like Stephen Miller is using Trump as a vessel to spread his disgusting shit. He wants to be, yeah, dude. I don't think that Donald Trump himself is a Nazi or a neo-Nazi. I just think that like he wants the love and admiration of that, and he'll just get behind like anyone that's going to feed him that. And then like he hired people that were like he thought were going to be really good at acquiring that, and then people like Nick Fuentes and Stephen Miller just get in there and like just feed him with a bunch of crazy shit. And he doesn't write his speeches and shit, you know. So Stephen Miller's like, yo, put this in there. This will be based. Knowing that it's like someone else is going to read it and be like, well, that's literally what Hitler said. I feel like most of this is just like them fucking with it. And then like them seeing how far Nazi rhetoric can get in a public space. Because like, believe it or not, people like J.D. Vance, Peter Thiel, and all these things, they all run in similar circles. And Stephen Miller is in that circle. Like right now, Donald Trump is kind of like a scapegoat to see like what these things can do. He's like the fucking moron that all these people are like, dude, we can just feed this guy's ego and put him on a stage and they'll do whatever, you know? I think that's more what it is. And these people are just kind of manipulating Trump and like, but they don't expect Trump to do the crazy, like Donald Trump does still crazy shit on his own. And Donald Trump is not like a victim in this. I just think that Donald Trump doesn't meet the bill for me as a Nazi or a master schemer to destroy the world. I don't think he like has that. Now, Stephen, like JD Vance and Stephen Miller, fuck yeah, dude. 100%. Yeah. Now, does he speak to Nazis? And the answer is yes. Yes, he does. You know what I mean? Like white nationalists, they like to shit until like they started helping the Jews, and then they're kind of like, that's why the America First people are out. Like, bro, like Nick Fuentes is as close as you could probably get to a neo-Nazi, and still be like in this spaces.
say that it's not mainstream, but the entire ideology of the right
Let me
speaks to those
ask you.
people.
Let me ask you, what
Yeah.
do you mean by fascist?
far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalistic.
Oh, so now you can't
14
be.
tenets of fascism,
I mean,
all that.
but there's a specific definition of fascist. Do you just mean that he's an
Did you see Dave's face in the background? He's like, ah! Dude, I hope Dave gets up here. I want him to rip this dude apart.
authoritarian?
Because the Democrats
No,
are.
I mean that he meets all 14 tenets of fascism.
All 14.
Which
of
is
them.
what?
Yes.
You want to go through all 14 points?
I'm trying to understand your argument, but so my point largely is we see people say Trump is a fascist, but there's
Probably.
you know if you go to an academic and you look at fascism, say Italy, there's a common
Mussolini.
argument that you have the merger of corporation and state as the defining element of what fascism is.
There's different forms of fascism, right?
Well, and that's the point. That's
The
why I
actual premise is the authoritarian. Donald Trump is absolutely a fascist. He's, like I said, he has Nazis in his administration.
Yeah, he is doing like fascist shit. Like 100%. Like he's doing that shit.
I think we're shifting. Pete Hegseth.
How is Hegseth
He literally has a proud Nazi tattoo on his chest.
He does not.
Stephen Miller is
Stephen Miller's
absolutely
a better
Nazi.
example by this.
Stephen
Hegseth
Miller
does
is
not
Stephen Miller, thank you.
have a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
yeah.
No,
The-
he does
the
not. He
cross
has,
on
he
his
has a
chest?
Catholic cross on his chest.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I mean, guys, look, I went to Catholic school when I was little. I left in fifth
Sure.
grade.
So-
Pete Hegseth is not a Nazi.
Yeah. That's okay. Cool. Question for you.
Thanks to.
Yeah, I should. Hegseth is too stupid to be a Nazi. He's just a fucking moron. Golden calf admired by the common man and sacrificed for the people in power and using them. I don't know what that means.
When Donald Trump and his administration specifically actually implement policies that go at the heart of what Nazis want,
Which
right?
is-
Targeting
which is what?
the first group of people they target was the transgender community. Same thing as a Nazi.
True. Okay, maybe he's going to get a little more close to this. Again, though, I don't think Donald Trump is, but I think the people running his administration are definitely Nazi admirers.
The actual Nazis specifically targeted people that weren't like them. There's been a persistent and consistent attack on undocumented immigrants, black people, women, anyone that's not a straight white male in America.
True.
My principal claim is not that Donald Trump is innocent, nor perfect, nor good. My claim.
Dude, he's never perfect, dude. I love how they could wash away all of the bad actions of a person by just, well, I never said he was perfect. No one said you did, asshole. Why don't we talk about the specifics of what we're talking about now? I love that they just have all these fucking bullshit retreat tactics and no one ever forces them on it, dude. It's so fucking frustrating.
Claim is that when you look at street level violence, domestic terror, etc., you'll find more violence coming from the mainstream left as opposed to the mainstream right.
Sure.
Because I do think it's fair to point out white supremacists are violent. They do evil and horrible things.
Yeah, I wanted to get
and
to that.
we all condemn
The
them.
white supremacists are a part of the mainstream right.
But they're not.
They literally are.
There's no circumstance
All right,
where you
we're
can
gonna
go on
pause here.
TV.
He didn't even get to. I feel like I know, like my boy still did good here. You know what I'm saying? But like, he just went down a bad attack vector and it just made us look more unhinged. But like, that's to their credit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because we've like the far left has used this divisive language for so long that it's lost literally all meaning. So when you start throwing around these buzzwords to these guys, they've already been defending against these allegations for like 12 years. So they can pivot out of them, bro, because like they're not struck by it. Like if someone were to call me like a trans hater or something or a chaser, like that fucks with me because like I literally support the trans community tooth and nail, and they still fucking hate my guts, So like when that shit hits out, it's like fuck, you know what I mean? But like these guys have been dodging these Nazi allegations for like 12 years at this point. They don't give a shit. That was like the worst attack vector to go against him on.
Thank you.
It's like calling Nick Fuentes a Nazi. Like like when Pierce Morgan did it, Pierce Morgan got outclassed because Nick Fuentes was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like he just doesn't care because like he's been called that for so long. Like
Can return to your seat. You've been voted out.
Nice meeting you.
Jeez. They vote him out so
If
fast
you'd like
on
to
this
be the
show.
next
Holy
debater,
fuck.
please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going?
That was an easy grab. You're right there.
So the first thing I'll say is I think it's a bit disingenuous to characterize
dude, he's got a look about him, man. This is a pretty man right here. What the fuck? Look at them fucking shoulder muscles, bro. That guy probably can bench or shoulder press that shit, bro.
all of the property damage committed during BLM
Yes.
as left-wing violence. Because there are going to be rogue opportunists
There we
during
go.
the biggest civil rights protests in American history. That's first and foremost.
job.
The second thing I would like to say is
Dude, I knew he's got big, strong shoulders. He's gonna carry this debate, bro. We knew it.
I don't think it makes sense to confine political violence strictly in the context of individuals acting with political.
This guy's a full-blown Marxist and accelerationist now? This guy is? Or the last guy? Fuck, he's about to bring up the fact that the government can commit violence on your behalf.
Motive violently. I think it ignores institutional violence. Theoretically, you could say the 1960s civil rights movement was more violent than the counter-protesters, but obviously the institutional violence of segregation.
I completely agree.
Right. So, so what I would say is that the Republican Party is, and the mainstream political right is far more violent because they support ICE ripping and separating families from one another.
Nice, dude. Good refocus. If he's a Marxist, that's going to break my heart. I wanted him to be my daddy, but now he's going to have to be someone I just consider MAGA light. Fuck, dude. Why are all the attractive men in our fucking coalition, bro? Like Hassan, he's got a good bone structure. He can't talk for shit. But like, why the fuck are they always Marxist? Fuck. I hope that like that chatter is just bullshitting, dude. Like, we need some good soldiers for liberalism.
Even from people who have no criminal background, deaths under ICE custody have skyrocketed, even as a matter of war abroad, etc. But
domestic, I'd love to talk to war stuff. I'm a big foreign policy guy, but domestically, did this not happen during Barack Obama's administration?
It did, but not to the same extent.
Agreed.
And Barack Obama was criticized for it by who? The political left.
$90 billion. The funding initiative for ICE is just unfucking believable, guys. Holy shit.
Oh, my point is not to say again that there's no violence on the right, and I think the institutional argument is actually good.
Remember, they're not perfect, guys. This is going to be the longest debate of my life.
However, my view largely is when you look at Occupy Wall Street, for which I was there and I watched police instigate fights, or when I was on the ground during the protests on West Florissant Avenue, and I saw police throw a flashbang grenade at protesters who were not doing anything violent. The issue is these police are under Democrat administrations.
I mean, we did kidnap a country from its country on questionable charges, and within 7 days made a deal for $10 billion of oil. Didn't read completely into it, but questionable actions, yeah, it did. I'm not even necessarily going against them, but like that shit wasn't done through Congress. That shit wasn't done through the proper levels, and we put this like his old administration right back in. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it was a gangster cool move. Like, it's cool to see America like dick slap someone, but like not illegally and not incorrectly, and not because Trump just willed it. What the fuck? That's not how it's supposed to work, dude. Though it was funny that like he was posting like "Come get me, Trump," and Trump was like, "Gotcha, bitch." Like that was pretty. I mean, it's based, you know, but like completely wrong on like every front. Like, god damn it, dude.
Still, where they're
like, I want to be able to brag about American actions. You know what I mean? I want to be able to go make like a fucking anime movie about like America being gangster, but you can't do that because like even when America does dope shit, like we did it for like the wrong, really, like we did it incorrectly, dude. Like, fuck. Yeah, dude.
Yes, the well-known Democrat administration. Barack Obama himself was ordering these cops, I heard, actually.
Their chiefs are often appointed by Democrat politicians. So again, I understand the left and progressives.
That to me is also a little disingenuous because
it's not just a little disingenuous. That motherfucker is disingenuous as fuck. Like these constant conflations, like, so me and my girlfriend were having a conversation the other day. I was out back smoking and contemplating the world because it's like what I do, bro. Like, dude, I don't want to say this to you. Like, touching grass has positive effects. I don't want to say that. I'm a nerd, dude. I'm a gamer. You know what I mean? But like, holy fuck, dude. Sometimes put your feet in the grass. You know what I mean? Like, we were having a conversation about like, technically, Donald Trump is the head of the military, but he's not the head of the military. There is like a separation between what Donald Trump does and the military. But technically, he literally appoints all of the heads of the military. So like right now, what MAGA people argue is that like Donald Trump is the head of the DOJ. And yes, technically he's the head of the DOJ. But what that means is he just puts a person in that runs the DOJ and then he appoints like, hey, this is what I want us to focus on. But then he hires this person and this person then acts independently of the president to ensure like what the president is doing and also like to follow our normal like Department of Justice things, like to do our job as like justices and stuff like that, to follow in accordance with the law written as the Constitution. And then if like they need to investigate the president, we always have to hire like a special counsel. A special counsel has to be assigned that isn't directly employed by the president to investigate the president. We've done it for years. But they'll say, well, him firing people that are investigating him is within the purview of the president because he's the head of the thing. Well, there's a difference between a head of a thing You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, well, Obama hired people and they went after people and those people were found guilty. So, but that means that like Obama's DOJ attacked these people. It's like, no, Donald Trump hired people, or sorry, Obama hired people. Those people pursued cases. They found information that could be found enough to be indictments. Those indictments then led to arrest, and those arrests then led to convictions. That's not the same thing as like someone like Donald Trump going on Truth Social saying, I want you to indict this person because he's my political enemy. That's like a different thing, but like people conflate all of this as much as possible to muddy up the waters, and it's disingenuous shit. It's debate bro tactics through and through, man. Yeah, dude, and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are like, they're fucking on their way out, bro. Like everyone that works for Trump quits because Donald Trump is literally illiterate, dude. He can't read.
It's not as though the police, as a matter of its institution, is a left-wing institution.
No, it's
in fact, usually the police are protecting and are on the other side.
If you want
of
to make the argument that ICE under Trump, I'll make the argument of police under the Democrats.
Sir, well, I don't.
We're not arguing about the police under Democrats or the police under Donald Trump. He's arguing about ICE.
I will give some respect to Tim Pool. If Tim Pool's clocked that this guy's a Marxist, he's like, because even his thing is like, well, yeah, usually the police is against the left though. Because like, remember, this guy still probably thinks that like if he's in that school of thought, you know what I mean? Like that was smart of Tim Pool to try and like vector into an area where he would have an agreeance with him, which would be like the police and shit like that.
Which was uniquely expanded by Donald Trump and then uniquely weaponized by Donald Trump in a way that nobody in U.S. history, as far as I'm aware, has ever done before.
Does law enforcement defer to their politicians
law enforcement
or not?
does not answer to politicians. That's not how any law enforcement works. There might be a law enforcement initiative, maybe, that a chief...
Yeah, so a politician can create an initiative or a policy, and then that can be implemented to the organization, and then the organization spreads that out to their agents. But that's not the same thing as, like, they answer directly to. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why we have hierarchical structures in these governments for reasons. You know what I mean? You have heads of departments for reasons.
Or something, you know, undertakes by the mayor, but like, I don't know what that is a meaningless statement that completely misunderstands how the police function. But
it depends. Because ICE is an executive agency, they do.
Defund the police is fucking stupid, and that's why like the Democrats owe it to themselves. Like when defund the police came out, I was like, dude, fund the police. We should have more funding go to police. They need more training. They need more time off. They need time on desk duty away from action to decompress. Like it should be mandatory that like all officers that do this job should have to get like free like medical shit to like do psych evals and shit like that. Like you should have check-ins. You should have time on and off the field mandatory. Not like I can take it, I'm gruff. No, dude. Like they should force you to take vacations. They should give you more time away from on call. Like, bro, all of my buddies that are cops are fucking dying on the inside because they work in a thankless job in a broken system that never gets anything done, with judges that don't do their jobs, people that have been sexually abused go literally, they skirt by for years until justice is handed out. Like, we need more funding for police, dude. Yeah, dude. But like we can give them more. Like more resources to cops can only further improve like our approach vector, dude. Like so many cops are under the wire. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's yeah. Yeah, dude. Dude, yeah, dude. Agreed it should be an actual position handled, and some good buddy was an undercover for Youngstown and he's thinking about putting in the hat for the same bullshit. Yeah, dude. There's just also we need civilian oversight in police. Like there's so many police reforms we can do, but in order to do all of that, it needs more funding. You know what I mean? Like defund the police was such a stupid thing. And that's why like the DSA is slowly creeping in on the Democratic Party. It needs to like, we don't want that rhetoric coming back. We don't want like all police need to be defunded. We don't want the idea that like police are just enforcement mechanisms for governments. Because no, it's not really that, dude. They're not supposed to be private police for the president. Well, that's why we needed to fund ICE and like rebrand it and like rebuild ICE as just the normal enforcement mechanism of taking out people that have run away from visas or go after criminals or do some kind of actual immigration policing near our borders and stuff. When a lot of that money that went to ICE can go to judges to oversee more cases to see like who can come here on asylum. Grant, like the reason why these cases take 5 to 12 fucking years is because there's such a massive backlog of cases. If all of that money that went to ICE went to judges, we could hear more of the cases, get more of them done correctly instead of that catch and release bullshit that we had to do because we just couldn't keep up with the workflow. Like, Jesus fuck, man.
And the police department in Minneapolis is under the Democrats, yes.
Right, but
and we all agree that there's problems there.
But they're criticized and often on the other end of left-wing protesters. So, for instance, the protests against ICE here in Los Angeles, it's usually against left-wing. So, what is it? Left-on-left violence? Is that what you're claiming?
Sometimes, yes, absolutely.
You think police protesting against or committing violence against left-wing protesters?
That's a good point on his part, though. That was good. That was good. Yeah, that was good. That was a good. Okay, so I'm glad that his communism talking shit worked out pretty good here. That was nice. That was good. I would have never been able to go into that level of argumentation he just did. But that actually worked out effectively and got a chuckle from people. That's good.
It's left-on-left violence, really?
Yes.
I think that's ridiculous and absurd.
The police who live in these cities tend to be more moderate, but they're not hard conservatives.
But is policing as an institution,
particularly
a left-wing institution
in New York?
Also, like most people that are police officers are usually Republican. Like the type of people that like hearken to that job are going to be more Republican. They're more physical. They're more, it's like a higher end blue collar type job. Like every police member I know is Republican. Every mechanic I know, other than 2, are Republican. Like people that are hunters are typically Republican. That doesn't mean that all of them are, but like the type of person becoming a cop is going to be more Republican than a person that isn't. There are people that are willing to thwart control in situations. Like that's just going to be more disagreeable to a progressive mentality. Like people that join the military are more likely to be Republican. You know what I mean? Like they're just the level of authority and control that comes with that mindset just is going to be more alluring to people of that particular way of thinking.
Define a left-wing institution.
Exactly.
What I would say is Democrat politicians are the ones appointing these police chiefs and these administrations who are enacting these policies.
But are they?
So when you are voting for,
that doesn't mean anything though. Like some policies are bipartisan, bro. What the fuck?
Someone.
So does that mean that like all of the bad actions that happened while Trump in his office are the fault of Trump? Even if it's like that doesn't make sense. Like that's the same argument. Like something that happens bad because a Democrat is in charge, it means that Democrats are the reasons why it happened. That's not. What the fuck, bro? Why do they think in such simplistic terms?
To office, this is not conservatives doing it. It's not mainstream right-wingers putting in police that beat protesters.
But who politically supports the police as a matter of their rhetoric and ideas?
Yeah, Blue Lives Matter. Like that was a good counter, dude. Oh yeah, dude. The big reason why Donald Trump even got elected, in my personal opinion, is because we had a far left element that Democrats wouldn't stand up to. We didn't have the media system, the ecosystem. We didn't have the backbones in our party, and we allowed these small minority of people run roughshod over our entire media space. Like the far left, like Sam Cedar, the Young Turks, the Hassans, all of these people say like grotesque shit. The Vanguard, like Pod Save America, all these people are fucking insane. And they've been like, they're seen as like Democrats, but they're not. They're not Democrats, dude. Like Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's an independent. He typically works with Democrats up until he doesn't. But like Democrats, like they just let the people on the farther side of the equation be our messaging apparatus. And people just got tired of their messaging. And like the right, to their credit, pointed out to a few issues that a lot of people weren't not necessarily on the fence of or weren't necessarily 100% comfortable with. Like a lot of people are okay with gay rights, but were they okay with trans rights? And they just abused that one point, and they just pulled the trans people out of the fucking dirt and just beat the living fuck out of them in public and everyone's just kind of like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, what the fuck, man? So like every time you have a conversation with like a MAGA person, like, what is a woman? Like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, what the fuck?
Ideology, the right or the left?
Right, but the right doesn't live in these places.
Yeah, but
nor do they appoint these people.
Sure, but
don't tell me that ICE under Donald Trump, but not police under Democratic politicians.
Hold on.
Hang on.
That is a whole different thing. What the fuck? Donald Trump sent ICE to places against the wishes of the governors, and they led essentially like mini attacks on the state government, which as a Republican flies in the face of every value you're supposed to fucking hold, which is states' sovereignty. Like, what the fuck, man?
Also doesn't appoint protesters who commit random acts of violence
completely
against
agree.
property.
That's not my argument.
I know, but earlier you were making the case that it's the ideology that motivates what these rioters are doing, and that's the reason why the left is ultimately responsible.
What I would say is the
wait,
underlying
wait.
ideology is
Hang on,
overlapping with
hang
the
on.
Democratic Party.
Sure, and so what I'm saying is that if you want to be consistent, the underlying ideology that supports the police and as a matter of institution, and when the police are cracking down on left-wing protesters, that's overwhelmingly on the side of conservatives.
Except they're not.
True. I mean, it tracks 100% with your original argument, dipshit.
You're
in
very
power
logical.
in these places, and you're applying a locality to the nation.
They
which
may
doesn't
not
make sense.
They may not be like technically
The police
empowered,
are not
but, like,
motivated by the Republican Party to go out under a Democratic mayor to arrest protesters.
The problem is that the police is still as a
By the way, the left is this is what this like primary season is going to be. It's going to be the DSA versus the Democrats, and that'll depend on like which type of candidate we put forward. Is populism going to run, or is something else going to run? And then on the right, we're going to have a civil war between MAGA and the American First Movement, and Tucker Carlson might have his own branch of whatever to throw in there. Like, it's going to be a fucking crazy 2 years, man. After this next election, bro, it's going to be fucking insane. Might be a good time to be a content creator, though. You know what I mean?
as a matter of institution is more of a right-wing institution than a left-wing
Certainly,
one.
even
and they're
in
usually
Democratic
on the other
states.
side of.
But the point is,
of
a police officer who goes out in New York and arrests a protester does so at the behest of a Democratic politician.
I don't think
Pause.
It's true.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Nice
return
meeting
to
you.
your seat. All right, if you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Yo, Dave, what's up?
Young man, listen.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been young for a minute.
Now slow down with that. Listen, all right?
Yes! He came with energy! Fuck! Oh, I gotta see that again. I gotta watch my boy, dude. Let's go. Let's cook him up.
To the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Sup, young man?
Oh, just immediate sup young man, bro. Fuck yeah.
Chair in 3, 2, 1.
Sup, young man? Listen.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been young for a minute.
Now slow down with that. Listen, all right? It's really quick.
Uh-oh.
Nice, dude. This is gonna be good, dude.
We got the handshake refusal. Hold on. Let me get a...
Which is what we should do.
Fuck it.
Like, we don't need to show respect to Tim Pool. This man took millions of dollars from RT Today to spread the misinformation about the Ukraine war. This guy is a piece of shit, by the way. So, you know, we've been way more polite to Tim Pool than we should be. So fucking mad respect to David here.
I condemn is a really cheap cop-out that's not going to work.
It's not an argument.
Because the people around us are not low IQ,
Whoa.
like your average viewer. It's important to recognize.
Make an argument.
So I'm about to.
You don't have one? Is that it?
I'm
If you want
about
to be insults, we can go for insults and just...
Insult him!
I'm about to.
We can rap.
I'm about to.
You wanna rap?
Stop delaying my time. So it's important to recognize that simply I condemn is not sufficient when the Republican Party has created a permission structure for individuals to go out and do violence
Like what?
against, I'm about to tell you, with
Ah, dude. I like it, dude. The hair is a little too curly, though, dude. It's a little too much. You should get a beanie. Sorry.
impunity. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is a good example.
Law enforcement.
The Trump administration, they
The
violated,
electoral process.
you know they lost in the courts 10
They're not a law enforcement organization, bro. They're not proper, dude. Okay, let's see.
10,000 times, right?
That's not true.
It is true. Politico actually released a
10,000
report on it.
times.
They lost
Oh, my 10,000 cases? Jesus fuck, I can't even see that fact check. Destiny, your shit's in the way, bitch!
Or the most current published count is at least 6,850 rulings against the Trump administration's ICE mandatory detention policy out of at least 19,400 federal district court rulings. So he's actually undercounting it. Jeez.
So, that's wild. All right.
It would be like 10,000.
They murdered numerous American citizens. And guess what happened to the individuals that carried out those killings? What happened to them?
What happened to them?
Have they been prosecuted? Any investigations? Do you know?
I believe they have not.
Why? It's almost as if when you commit violence,
You're wrong.
you are going to be protected. That's what's going on. That's why Kristi Noem went out and said that Alex Freddie was a domestic terrorist. That's why Stephen Miller said the same thing.
Dude. You see, when a liberal comes with the facts, man, it's going to be good.
And everybody in the entire Republican Party apparatus is echoing those talking points. Because whenever there's violence, they don't condemn it. They condone it, they congratulate it, and they pardon it.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
Kill American
behaviors,
citizens?
which sometimes, yes,
It's
absolutely.
just crazy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Like, Hassan does this too, actually, sometimes. Oh, and I've heard Pisco and them do this argument. You ever notice that people do this thing where sometimes they'll defend the policy or the thing on its merits, but then other times they'll do this thing where they'll retreat to like, oh, well, that's what the voters wanted, so you're saying the voters are wrong? And it's like, wait, what the fuck? It's very fucking annoying, this back and forth. You said 6K, correct it now? What? Oh, I thought it said 16K. It was 16.8K. That's not an argument. I don't know what the point is. Well, the point is to try to shirk the responsibility from the craziness of the administration. Like, that's not an argument for anything, bro.
They voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
Yes.
Oh my God, he took psychic damage. People did not, like, dude, you can vote to have stricter immigration policies. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can want different immigration policies. You can want looser immigration policies. People typically vote for that. They vote for either to constrain or to restrict or to reduct or reduce. It doesn't matter. No one's voting to kill fucking people illegally with ICE. That's not. Why would Tim Pool take that bullet? What the fuck is this?
Do you?
They're the average Republican. I don't think they're that.
Who said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for
Oh, he just realized what he said, so now he's gonna. Okay, all right, no, all right, yeah, that makes sense. That was fucking wild. Okay,
would vote. What? Hello? What are we talking about? Are we lost right now?
ICE to harm people?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
This is terrible.
So you think not a single person in this country wants to
Now,
harm
not a single
illegal
person. Oh, what?
We're talking about the fact that they're.
Yeah, dude, vote for your beliefs, man. I don't know what they are, but just get out there and vote. I hope the best arguments win, but man, these days it's rough. Dude, politics is fucked.
There's a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question
to
again?
justify
Can you answer the question?
and allow it to happen, foment violence in this country?
Can you answer
and
the
you're running
question?
cover for it.
Actually, you just did it.
No, I didn't.
See, I'm pointing out
ICE violence. You're saying that people vote for it or whatever.
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants?
Why would you go into this argumentation? Yeah, there are white supremacists that vote for it. And we think that that's more of a majority of your party than you're willing to admit. What the fuck? Why are you okay.
God. You should tie this back now to the thing. Wait, I thought you said earlier that they weren't trying to court white supremacist votes. Now you're saying that the biggest funding initiative, the biggest novel funding initiative the Trump administration took, which was that $90 billion funding for ICE, the biggest initiative they did, you're saying that the people most likely to support that would be white nationalists? I thought you said they weren't trying to court those votes. Or is that not the average Republican, or what?
Does he not know what his original argument was, dude? What the fuck?
But what a stupid area to retreat into for this on Tim.
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could...
Sorry. Yes. I'm mind melded. I feel it. We're tapped into the same...
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants?
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Damn, he owned you there, David. Get
True.
fucked. He didn't even respond. You run into these times where they bite like such a crazy bullet. You're like,
yeah, dude.
Fuck. You had like 12 steps ahead, and then they just fucking tried to auto asphyxiate themselves. You're like, wait.
The white supremacists.
Bro, people should not bite. Like, I think it's funny because one of my biggest problems with a lot of people back in the day was no one would bite bullets at all. And it's like, dude, why are you dodging? Like, you just admit the negative side of your argument. But like, now they're biting bullets that are like, why did you bite that? Like, have you even thought your argument through? If you're biting that bullet, that's not even part of your argument. What?
Supremacists make up part of the Republican Party, and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes,
oh my God, yeah. See, he got there, and he got there live. Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I don't know why Tim would own this in the end after arguing almost the exact opposite with the last person, but okay.
I believe they do.
Okay.
The initial claim that I'm making is that there is absolutely violence on the right. I already agree with one of the previous debaters that there's institutional violence from the right as well. The best argument against my claim actually is that the right, when they get levers of power, will use law enforcement as their vehicle for the violence they want to engage.
Oh, so you defend the violence they do when they do it, because when they get in, they use enforcement mechanisms within the government. That's our whole argument, is that people are abusing their position in the government to enforce shit. Like, that's the whole, like, why are you here? You just, okay.
Agent. Those things are all fair. My point is that we are not
That's a nice long drawn out
What's up, Crawley, dude? What's going on?
concession. Thank you for.
But it's not a concession because maybe we agree.
Oh, okay.
See, I think.
Well, didn't you say the modern political left commits more violence than modern political right? So now you're saying
just because there are riots coming from the left.
What the, like, why is he so bad at debate? How many of these terrible debates has he done in the last 2 years? Like, he used to say Sam Cedar wouldn't debate me. I don't even like Sam Cedar, and Sam Cedar fucked him up.
Does not mean they're morally right or wrong, or does not mean the right is better or worse. This is a statement about volume of violence that we see and a meaningful issue to a voter as to what is the underlying motivation that we see pushing violence in this country. So when you have ICE going engaging in these actions,
this is like a Clarence Thomas level of interpretation with that prompt. That is not. What
I don't know why you're trying so hard to disagree when we actually have common ground.
Because we don't agree for the same reasons, you fucking moron. Like, what the fuck? I never want to agree with Tim Pool, man.
Pause.
Okay, wait, did they
out of time.
run out of time twice? Or I'm confused. Hold on. What was the last?
They ran out of time twice.
Maybe we agree. My point is enforcement as well. The claim that I'm making is that there is absolutely.
And Donald Trump's doing their bidding to kill migrants.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party, and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yeah, they ran out of time twice, bro. But he was owning him so good they let it keep happening.
I certainly believe.
Did they fuck up the sound effect? Did they add this here incorrectly, or?
They do. My point is, this is a invasion that.
This is like a Clarence Thomas level of interpretation with that prompt. That is not. What
I don't know why you're trying so hard to disagree when we actually have common ground.
What? Because
Pause, we are out of
it's
time.
a debate show. You're here to fight all the claims.
I love it.
Thank you.
Nicotine, the ultimate biohacker secret weapon, has made a wild comeback. But why is that clean
Dude.
Okay.
lifestyle
Did you know
still fueled by big
stimulants
tobacco?
Can energize you day to day.
Why do they have the same advertisers of Tucker Carlson, bro? That makes me so nervous.
Tobacco's chemical-laden slop. For those who switch out LEDs for incandescents, source raw milk.
Wait, what? Who is this?
Nicotine, the ultimate
What
biohacker
the
secret
fuck?
weapon,
Why
has
are
made
we
a
back
switch out
here
LEDs.
again?
Introducing
The clean routine is the first example.
the ultimate
Headaches. He didn't like that, but it in RFKDs.
nicotine solution. That nicotine lozenge option is craft pH adjusted gram strength. Snack.com. Warning.
The Democratic Party has embraced authoritarianism.
If you'd like to be the first debater,
Sorry.
please get to the chair
We've embraced like Hassan has, but he's not part of the Democratic Party, bro.
in 3, 2, 1.
That was fast. Nice to meet you. Let's start off not by. Oh God, don't make me defend Republicans. But let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Oh,
let's talk
true.
about authority.
I'm sorry.
I don't know who this guy is, but he looks terrifying, bro. And that's coming from me, bro. I look like a demon, but like, this dude looks like he is fucking cracked out of his mind.
I fucked up. Hold on. If there's ever a thing that you're like, why do Republicans hate this? And it's not like the most retarded conspiracy ever. There's actually a shortcut that will probably explain it. And the shortcut is because it came under Obama. That was the LED thing. Because Obama was trying to take your cars away, give you green energy bullshit, and then he wanted to steal all your light bulbs that made you look beautiful and natural and replace them with these cold, dead LEDs. So it felt like you were locked in a fucking hospital all day. That's why they hated the LEDs, because it was an Obama thing, and the energy shit and the cash for clunkers and all that. And yeah, that's why they, yeah.
Authoritarianism.
Yeah.
What does an authoritarian government do?
So it's typically.
Damn, he's got a deep voice, though. What the fuck, bro? Why do you have such a deep voice?
And particularly in my claim, it's a reference to suppression of dissent, suppression of speech, control of voting, or manipulation of voting for the power, for the, let's just call it control by a particular group of
Let's
politically
take those
or.
claims one at a time.
Yeah.
First, on suppression of speech.
Indeed.
Just a few hours ago today, Trump subpoenaed reporters for trying to report accurate information.
So Trump's not allowed to investigate crimes now, by the way. That's what this guy's argument is. Is that Trump can't
on the
investigate.
war in Iran.
Wow,
He said,
that's terrible.
No, that can't happen.
Awful.
That's way more authoritarian than what we're seeing on the left.
Didn't Obama
Well, I
do it
mean,
with the IRS? He didn't, by the way. That's a total fucking lie.
It's hard to quantify what is more or less authoritarian, but certainly bad when President Trump is trying to stifle speech.
Wait, can you
But
give
do
any example of Biden doing anything even comparable to that?
I can. We can start with Alex Berenson, who is currently in a lawsuit because the Biden administration personally went to social media platforms using his name to be suspended for his reporting.
Journalist
on,
Alex
COVID vaccination.
Berenson's account was temporarily suspended by Twitter on July 16, 2021, and permanently banned on August 28th for alleged violations of COVID-19 misinformation rules after posts criticizing vaccine effectiveness and mandates. Discovery later showed White House officials had pressed Twitter about why Bernstein had not been kicked off the platform. ...
and mandates.
Okay. At a top level, though, who's doing the majority of the actual suppression of speech here?
I don't really have good words for the Republican Party, to be honest. My issue with this debate is in fact what we're seeing right now is that I'll make a claim.
But if you don't have examples of like the Democratic establishment being authoritarian, why would your debate? Why would your topic be that like the left is going super authoritarian? I don't. Yeah, there are authoritarian elements in certain actors on the left. Yeah, but those people don't really represent the Democratic Party. And right now, there's a Democratic civil war right now over whether or not we let those people in.
About the Democratic Party, which has done awful things, and the immediate response is, but the Republicans. And I don't like
The
Republicans.
thing that you should fight on here, although I guess it's a challenging argument depending on where you're at. The thing you should fight on here is like, why were people, well, actually none of the conservatives would buy this, but why were people getting in trouble for stuff related to vaccine misinformation? It's because, I mean, depending on your thought process, it's supposed to be because they thought that we were going to fucking die in a historic pandemic, and people were really worried that a whole bunch of people posting insane fucking shit constantly on Twitter or Facebook or whatever was going to get people to like not get vaccinated and then die in greater numbers, which actually did happen, by the way, to a lot of conservatives. But that was the fear. Donald Trump.
And also, like, there could be like an argument for like having to ban people that are pushing out like information that could be seen toxic at the time. I wouldn't say that like I wasn't really cool with a lot of the censorship. I literally lost my job at Cox Automotive over, vaccine shit. So I'm not a fan of the way that we handled COVID in a lot of places. And I was pretty mad at the Biden administration because of it. But that being said, like the hysteria around it can make sense. This was a global pandemic. No one knew how dangerous it was going to get. A lot of people were dying. There were like some of the transformations of the variant of the viruses were, looking pretty bad initially. And then eventually they kind of simmered out. But like you could say, cause like, I mean, I run a Discord community. I run a YouTube. Like if someone comes in here and starts saying really crazy shit in the thing, I have to ban them. You know what I mean? Because I don't want it to negatively reflect on my platform. So like you could make an argument for like some of the censorship coming from some of these tech situations. But that doesn't necessarily mean that like someone getting banned is proof that like the Democratic Party was doing crazy censorship. Though I do agree that like a lot of the stuff like Biden initially did was pretty bad. Like the OSHA mandate was fucking insane, but that got shut down by the courts. And then you know what happened? He stopped trying to pursue it. Vaccine mandates are a little fucking ridiculous. Like I don't think that you should mandate what someone does to their body, but you should just give them the reasons why they should get the vaccine, and you should go over the pros and cons and what the vaccine will have effect on. Now, hindsight is 2020, you know what I mean? Like we can talk about what could have happened. One could argue that like we might have made a lot of missteps during COVID. But like those missteps were made typically in like for good reasons or good intents, and we were working with unknown variables. We should definitely readjust that if another vaccine or another, not vaccine, but like another pandemic happens. And we need to do a lot of significant research on what would be the best route to go. But all of that will depend on the disease at the time. And who knows if that'll be in our lifetime. You know what I mean? Like we did overstep in a few areas, and some people did get actually genuinely hurt because of that overstep. Freedom of press doesn't exist anymore. Honestly, look at how YouTube and Facebook were forced to suppress stuff. Such during COVID. I was working in a hospital during COVID, and I could tell you stories. No, I got you, man. But like, what could have been some of the reason for that? Like, I could understand both YouTube and Facebook not wanting to get caught up in lawsuits that could actually result in millions of deaths by allowing someone to put out information that is going against like the literal White House's WHO or whatever, dude. Like Fauci worked for the White House, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're putting out information that's going directly against Fauci, it could make sense on a logical standpoint that like an organ, like a social media platform that can be sued or held responsible, especially if people start dying. that like you might want to ban that. That may not have been government overreach. There might have been a more like less of a malicious reason and more of like they don't want to get themselves in trouble during a pandemic. You know what I mean? Like some of this could have just been done on the business side of things. It's probably a lot more likely, Occam's razor, that these people were just acting in their own self-interest when banning these accounts. Because these accounts could have been saying something against the prevailing narrative from the government at the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that censorship was there.
Doing political witch hunts is not born out of any noble cause, and even conservatives won't pretend otherwise.
Live in a two-party system.
Correct.
Right? We can have this great grift of like, oh, well, the Democrats are bad, but we can, and the Republicans, they might be worse, but the Democrats are still bad. But the option is between Democrats or Republicans.
Yes.
So if Republicans are worse,
So it is one of the things that people do to attack the system is they'll say, well, both Republicans and Democrats are bad. Well, yeah, but that's always weird when it's coming from the language of people that are on the side that has like the worst actors. Like we do have 40 to 50 years of like recent history. Well, actually, we have 80 years, actually. We can go back and see what Democrats have advocated for pretty much that entirety of time. This is recorded history. Like you can go back and watch the debates for these people. Like you can go watch, like read the news articles from the time period. Like all of this information is out there. And Democrats have by and large fought for bigger unions, more civil rights, more rights for both women and men and gays. Like Democrats have fought for like giving more rights and powers and protections to the everyday people. They're the ones that are often fighting to put limitations on big businesses, putting higher taxations on big businesses. Now, you can argue that some of those things that they're fighting for have negative downstream effects. And yeah, you can definitely make that. Everything comes with pros and cons. But like if you were talking about parties that like fought for human rights, it's a clear winner on which side has done that unilaterally. Now, that being said, maybe we can't afford some of these things. And like we do a lot of retelling about history. Just because Republicans stood against those things doesn't mean they are racist or sexist. Maybe they're just protecting a status quo, or they could be making an economic argument or something like that. Like we just do this polarization shit so much that it poisons the well. But like washing down both parties to the same sin is just not historically true, and it's just not accurate. And the language of people saying, well, both parties bad is a defense mechanism that they use to slander both parties, and they receive less damage on their side and then gives them some form of higher credibility. It's just it's a lazy argument. You can talk about the pros and cons of both sides.
it doesn't really matter if Democrats are slightly bad.
I think Democrats are worse.
We don't love Democrats, but we feel that Republicans are way worse when they institute these far more authoritarian policies.
It's hard to quantify more. The question is, does it suppress speech? And I certainly think Donald Trump has taken actions.
Let's look at human lives. If we want to do like a quantification here, let's look at ICE.
Wait, real quick.
American
do I need
citizens
the rocket launchers to go to a kilo, or can I do that with lasers and guns?
Killed by ICE. That's way more than the number of American citizens killed by immigration enforcement under, say, Obama.
But it's way less than the amount of American citizens killed by Barack Obama.
No,
it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Look. I don't want to be disrespectful, but one of the biggest issues to me is the extrajudicial assassination of Abdurrahman al-Awlaki.
Oh my God, bro! Yes, Obama killed an American citizen that joined ICE overseas. Yes, but when Obama did that, he literally went to the White House. The lawyers that work for the White House proceeded legal means and did this as like the head commander of our country because he was a traitor to our country. It's fucking... you let Tim Pool walk you into one of his favorite talking points, bro.
The Obama administration. And this is what
the guy was working with a terrorist group overseas, and we have the president of the United States as the commander-in-chief, and he is totally allowed to do these things. You cannot simply, just think about the cooked rules for this. And by the way, they only give a fuck about this because Obama was the president. But think about the rules here. Are you saying that I can go and join a foreign military, and I could be fighting?
But it doesn't even matter. Like, what Destiny's about to say is probably 100% true. But, these are the same people that defend Donald Trump going in and illegally capturing another president against the law. Obama assassinated an American citizen that joined a terrorist organization and went out there to assist terrorism. Is he currently relevant? Yeah, dude. Tim Pool has like 2 million subscribers, dude. If when I upload this video, I'm gonna get a lot of hate on the internet.
As an enemy combatant out in the field, and you have to treat me like a citizen where only policing powers would come into effect? Of course not. You can do a military strike on you can be a U.S. citizen, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're participating in enemy terrorist or military activities, of course you could be targeted. That's crazy to say otherwise, and they would never say the same if this wasn't for a person under Barack Obama.
My life, when I was very anti-war, very lefty, still anti-war, and voted for Barack Obama, and then he murdered.
Were you in favor of the war in Iran?
Absolutely not. And Barack Obama killed a 16-year-old American citizen who was at a civilian restaurant in Yemen.
We can play
These are
this
all
game.
bad
We
things.
can be like, oh well, both parties are pretty bad, but like we have to. When they go to the ballot office, when I go to the ballot office as a voter, I have to actually put in a vote. I have to decide Democrat or Republican, or throw my vote away and vote for some third party.
Libertarian.
If I'm picking between those, and there's one candidate who just brought us into a war in Iran, is causing this massive conflict, tons of human suffering, that's foreign. That's foreign policy. Domestically, we see ICE attacks on American citizens. We see 56 people dying in ICE detention camps in just a singular year. You compare that to under Obama, the deporter-in-chief. Across 8 years, 52 people died. Way, way, way fewer. What we're seeing is dangerous conditions domestically. Way more people are dying, right? We have a lot of this like qualitative discussion. You bring up a lot of anecdotes, but if you
Damn, bro, this dude's cooking. Like, holy fuck.
actually like quantify the number of deaths that are occurring through these authoritarian mechanisms, it's very, very clear that when I vote, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils and voting Democrat.
Let's talk about a few structures of authoritarianism. We'll go with 2016, and you brought up.
Oh my god, dude, why are you retreating to the past? Answer questions, dude.
Donald Trump subpoenaing these
What
journalists.
about Barack Obama?
We'll get broad on this.
When he kicked some people out of the press pool or whatever. I don't know the full story on this. Every single story I've ever looked up that Tim Pool's brought up has always been a lie, though. So I just assume that this is either greatly exaggerated or completely untrue. I feel like he's about to bring this one up, but we'll see. I don't know. Or the IRS thing.
In 2016, Gizmodo published an article that Facebook had been suppressing news and information from conservative outlets. This is Gizmodo. They're a progressive outlet. In fact, I worked for the company that owned them, and I was a Bernie supporter in 2016. And so agreeing with this reporting and knowing the reporters behind it, I reported this. NBC News, all of these major institutions then claimed I was a right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Here's the thing.
Well, let me finish. For claiming that these...
Yeah, but then you became a right-wing conspiracy theorist that got paid by Russia to spread misinformation about the Ukraine war. Like, why did you become the thing you were accused of being, dipshit? If someone accused me of being a pedophile, you know what I'm gonna do? Never go fuck a kid. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? Why would you do the thing they accused you of doing if you weren't that? But, like, you just own it? I'll just become, like, what the fuck? Why make it a fact then, asshole? I don't understand.
He always does this thing where he gets like very personal with his stories. I was like, I don't. What the fuck do you want to argue on this? Like, I don't know your personal fucking story. You have to like learn them all.
That's like saying like you're a Zionist, and then like I'm gonna like my next chapter of life, I'm gonna move to Israel and like just do Israel propaganda, but then be like, well, I wasn't a Zionist. Like, what? Okay.
All for him.
Reported on. Then what we learned is that under Obama, under Obama and under Biden, and don't get me wrong, this was under Trump as well, there was an active effort from the FBI. They were given a backdoor access to Twitter and Facebook to remove content that they thought objectionable to the government, and it was not done at the behest of Trump or for his benefit, but to the benefit of those who had been defending him in the press. So notably myself, who was calling out these censorship practices, I was falsely slandered and maligned by the media over this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God, they slandered Tim Pool. Bro, that gave you a career, asshole.
These are institutions. Now, when you say that Donald Trump is mad at them, I agree. Subpoenaing journalists, depending on the issue, can be bad. But to see that from Obama through Trump and into Biden, they were actively given access. This is a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Tim,
it's a violation of the First Amendment.
We're missing something.
You don't get to even talk about violations when you defend this president committing violations against our fucking Constitution like he breathes. What the fuck? These people.
Really important. We're lumping together all of these different types of sort of suppression of speech, but there's a fundamental difference. When we see like left-leaning suppression of speech, often that happens from like a bottom up, where you see some company taking an action.
No, I gave you a specific example of the Biden administration going to a major big tech company, giving them specific instructions to remove people who were saying naughty words.
We saw that in the context of COVID, where vaccination was really, really important.
That's authoritarianism.
Lives were saved.
It's
authoritarianism.
Buy vaccines. We have a really strong.
You can give me every reason for why you want to be an authoritarian. They always have a reason, and saving lives is always one of them.
There's a fundamental difference between suppressing free speech on, say, the war in Iran, where there's really bad stuff going on and we need to talk about it, and, say, spreading vaccine misinformation. In the U.S., we've had really...
Yes. Dude's cooking. He looks weird, but he's cooking. He looks like he's a little cracked out, though. Like, dude, chill. Like, chill your face out.
long
You have a
precedent.
moral
Look at
opinion
Czech versus
on the
United
differences of
States,
importance, and
right?
that's fine.
Clear and present danger test has
But
been
we're
well
talking
established.
about authoritarianism has many different reasons. Did you think that all the tyrants of the world never gave a reason as to why they needed absolute authority? They always did. And they always do. And even today it's the case whether it's Trump.
What the fuck? That's not what he's saying. He's saying that there's it's a qualitative difference between like banning people for spreading vaccine misinformation that's directly going against the World Health Organization while trying to save lives during a pandemic, and the shit that Donald Trump is doing like right now. There are two differences. Like when Democrats spend money, it's probably because they're offsetting something. Let's look at Obama. When Obama took office, we had the big financial crisis, okay? That happened because of the shit that happened with the banks and the dumb shit that happened after the fall of 2001's fucking, I think there were changes to the banking system that allowed these people to give out egregious loans that people couldn't pay back. Everything defaulted on these loans. The banks had to take back a bunch of property. Recession hit. A fucking massive fucking crash happened. So Obama inherited that, and he had to offset all of that terrible shit. So he had to spend a lot of money. He had to bail out, major corporations from the automotive sector. He had to bail out banks. He had to, So it was a big failure point in capitalism, and the United States government stepped in to save millions or thousands, if not millions, of jobs. So we had to spend a lot of money, which meant inflation happened afterwards. Things did rise, prices did go up, but our economy slowly started to recover. After a big chunk of 2008, by the 2012s, we were back to a roaring economy. Everything was looking up. Everything was looking good. Donald Trump came in 2016, and he inherited all-time highs on the, lowest at the time unemployment records, the highest fucking stock market at the time. Everything was doing good. We had bounced back from a pretty crazy recession. But in order to do that, Democrats had to spend a lot of money. But when Donald Trump took office, we were still doing pretty good, But then he did tax cuts, which, a lot of people like. People like to spend less money on the government. But then he also massively increased our spending. So even before COVID happened, we were already starting to do pretty poorly. Like people like Jerome Powell were talking about having to cut interest rates or further increase them. There was a lot of public pressure on Jerome Powell at the time, and then COVID happened. And then Donald Trump did some pretty cool shit, put things back to the states' rights, built the vaccine, did a lot of cool shit. I actually think that Donald Trump did all right. And, he was more or less correct when he was talking about reopening the country like a few months into it. Yeah, we probably could have done that, But the COVID thing and Donald Trump's massive tax cut that he did, allow with massive spending increases, tanked our economy. Biden gets in at the tail end of COVID. He has to do a bunch of crazy shit. He does sign in a bunch of new laws, passes new immigration shit, but new infrastructure bills. He passes bipartisan bill after bipartisan bill. Dude, we get a lot of shit done. Some of his shit falls through because he couldn't completely wash away people's debt. He tried that shit. It was fucking stupid. He shouldn't have tried it, but it was cool. Biden got in, did a bunch of shit, but the economy was still in the shitter because we were still pulling off of the massive spending that both Trump and Biden had to do during COVID. And that inflation hit the market, and dude, people just were not ready for the fallout of all of that shit. And the big problem that I have is I remember working through COVID at the time, and I was a blue-collar dude working in a shop. We literally lost our only other mechanic. It was literally me and my assistant manager or my general manager. I would come in and work in the afternoon. He'd come in and work in the morning. We'd both work 6 hours a day. I was only working 35 hours a week. I didn't take a single dollar from the United States government during COVID. I just spent less money. I didn't take any of the handouts other than the ones they forced into my bank account. But I knew so many people that would refuse to come back to work because of the fucking massive amount of money they were getting on unemployment. I know so many people that spent a year out of work absorbing every dollar they could from the United States government. And then a year later, when inflation starts skyrocketing, these are the same people complaining about the prices and things that we're paying for. The same people that were abusing the system are now having to pay for the price of the system, and they're bitching about it. And it's like, bro, you said, well, might as well get my fair share. It's all about me, right? And now, you have to pay the price. Shut the fuck up. You didn't have to take all of that money that you... It fucking aggravates me beyond all reason.
Trump or anybody else. So when Biden's administration said, because COVID misinformation kills, we will silence you, that's authoritarianism. You can argue that you agree with it, but still is authoritarianism. How about we can use Cuomo in New York as an example? He shut down churches in violation of the First Amendment, and when he was sued and lost, he issued a secondary executive order changing the words to keep the churches closed. That is authoritarianism. And you right now defending it is my point. I have no problem saying Trump should not go after journalists, but you seem to have a problem saying the Democratic administrations should not be doing what they're doing.
Okay, pause.
Out.
You've been voted out
I
by the
think
majority.
he navigated.
Yeah.
I do not like how Tim Pool navigated that conversation very well, and he is technically right. That was an authoritative overreach for the Democratic Party, and I wouldn't say I even defend it. I just can understand a difference in it. I don't really like vaccine mandates. I don't really like any of that shit. I think that we should just disprove those people instead of ban them. I think that did more danger to the discourse. Like, we had scientists, we had smart, intelligent people. If dumb fucks that want to listen to crazy people on the internet want to, like, we made Joe Rogan way bigger of a platform by attacking Joe Rogan. Like, that's a hard soul truth. Like, trying to make Joe Rogan look sicker in their video, like going after Joe, like, we did more damage. We made a bigger thing that now you have to overcome. Like, don't silence opposition. Just prove it incorrectly. Just prove it incorrect. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, the banning of Nick Fuentes created a martyr that then Nick Fuentes became unstoppable. Yeah, no, 100%. It's hindsight's 2020, but banning someone or proving someone incorrect, there are always two options here. And I'd argue that the authoritative option to just ban them outright is more dangerous than just disproving what they're saying. It does more damage to your movement.
Clap, clap.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2,
Bing.
1.
Long distance from back.
You made it. I'm surprised you made it.
So one of the key parts.
Damn, he's got nice hair, bro. I don't like where he parts it though, but that's nice hair, bro. Head and shoulders that bitch, dude. Sheesh.
About authoritarianism is influence over elections. And we've seen that throughout the history of right-wing and left-wing, the right-wing side of this country has constantly been election deniers. Famously, Trump tried to find votes in Georgia to win the 2020 election.
True.
Now we're seeing that they're claiming voter fraud in the city of Los Angeles mayor's race.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many presidential elections in the last 20 years were denied by Democrats?
Were denied by Democrats?
Oh my God, dude. Yes, Al Gore resisted initially, but then he caved when the Supreme Court said so. Like, Democrats hold off. Like, if you're going to say that because Hillary Clinton still doesn't view Donald Trump as a president, that's not true. She ceded the election. She handed over her stuff. She pulled out. Jesus Christ. But then it is, and then feet apart helps, and then made up data. I agree that it was stupid. Yeah, dude. I mean, some of the science was a little wild.
Yeah, but
unless this guy,
but like, we could just admit, like, some of the science was wrong. You know what I mean? Some of the science was just going out of date stuff. Some of it was going off of a handbook written 100 years before. Like, some of this was just theory. Like, the 6-foot thing was a theory. You know what I mean? Like, and science never admits that it gets it correct. Science's whole thing is that it can get it wrong and learn new data. But like, we trust the science at the time because we're just trying to make the best informed decision we have. Like, the problem is that so many people just think about facts in incorrect ways. Like, a fact isn't a fact because of a fact. Fact is a fact because, like, it's the best of, like, level of truth that we have at this approximate time. And that fact can typically change more or less depending on new information. There are some things that are more secure as facts and things that are less. But the way that we use language is just like, you know, the English language allows for so much wiggle room. Yeah, dude.
like knows the specific laws. It's so frustrating when they bring this up. He's going to bring up the quote from Hillary Clinton, where she says she feels like something illegitimate in regards to like.
Yeah, Donald Trump is an illegitimate president because he lost the popular election. He only won because of the Electoral College, but like he won. He became president. No one stopped him. No one, no one did a January 6th fucking style insurrection to prevent it. You know what I mean?
The fact that Donald Trump was assisted by Putin to win, which he was. Like, everybody agrees with this. This isn't even like controversial. Like, we already, like, even Assange said this openly, that they wouldn't release bad information on Trump, but they did release bad information on Hillary. And then they bring up this what was the other thing? Oh, they might bring up Bush v. Gore, but in both of these instances, the Democrat conceded the actual election. They conceded it instantly. This was not election denialism.
Like, they're gonna conflate it, dude. Like, Donald Trump to this day says that 2020 was stolen. He does not believe that he lost that election. He made committees to look into it. And their argument is that, like, well, because 6 million people voted less for Harris than Biden. Yeah, dude, because Harris wasn't as popular as Biden. That doesn't mean anything. That's not even a good counter argument.
This was an instantaneous concession, and they always pretend otherwise, and it's so fucking frustrating.
Mainstream members of Congress going on the floor, rejecting it.
None.
All of them.
Do you see the Democratic Party trying to create an alternate slate of electors to actually try and overturn
that's a different
democratically
argument.
elected?
Oh my God, dude. Tim Pool's such a weaselly little cunt. Sorry for that language.
Certainly a different argument, but no, that was in, I think that would have been 1960, but certainly not in the last 20 years. So
that's not even true either. What happened in Hawaii was not the same thing as Donald Trump sending in false electors. You fucking dumbass motherfucker, dude. Like, bro, Hawaii did it through the state legislature, dude. They literally sent both of them because there was a recount going on and they didn't know which one was going to win the recount. So they sent 2 different electors to the fucking, to Congress or whatever. They sent 2 different ones in case the recount came out differently when they were there. That's not the same thing as Donald Trump sending 6 of his own false electors. It's a different thing entirely, intrinsically. Categorically, dude. What?
I completely agree. Trump's efforts in 2020 were substantially different from, say, a handful of members of Congress and high-profile personalities coming out and saying the election is illegitimate. But I will say, while it is not particularly mainstream, there actively are groups across social media that believe the election was stolen. Just go on Threads for it.
Who gives a fuck? That was haunting to read in 8th grade. Yo, fuck, dude. I didn't read that. Shit, I don't even want to know. I do not want to know how we got Hawaii, dude. Don't do that. Kia's going to see that. She's going to make me learn about it, dude. Because I talk about fuck yeah America all the time, bro. Don't do it.
For a few minutes.
Threads.
You will see tons of progressives arguing the election was stolen.
Tons of bots. You know, I'm really
well, if
big
you don't think
for
they're
the
real
dead
people,
internet
that's
theory.
fine. I agree with the internet theory, actually.
So look,
so then,
if you're talking about the right versus the
exists.
left, overall, again, we are talking about the overall picture here. Where is the majority of this coming from?
Well, let me ask you a question. You mentioned California.
I heard he walks off of this debate. So I wonder if Dave is the one that forces this motherfucker off, dude. But like, Jesus Christ. Why do conservatives perform so poorly in these debates?
I want to ask you a question. Let's say there's an election that takes place, and a ballot comes in 3 days after that election. It's signed with a picture of Mickey Mouse, and it's hand dated. Do you think that is a real vote?
So guess what? In California, when you...
Bro, what the fuck? America, not cool, but we did need a 6 like vacation spot. So, you know, like, I'm joking.
don't have a correct signature, you can do this thing called ballot curing, where you take that ballot back to the voter and you say, is this really you? And you have to get that signature again.
But
in that case,
I
don't think they registered with the Mickey Mouse signature.
Well, that's actually legal in California. In fact, the example given, I think, in Santa Barbara is a Kirby star image. Now, the challenge with this is, and that's why I'm not a fan of the fraud argument from Republicans. Just stop saying fraud. This is legal in California. In California, you can draw a picture of Kirby star in any manifestation. Now, the problem is signatures are supposed to be unique and individual.
Hey, dude. Hey, whoa. My girlfriend is pretty anti-American, dude. Very, very rude. America.
Traces to a rhetorical comment made by a local Republican official about in-person polling place sign-in sheets, not evidence that a ballot with a cartoon signature was accepted. The same Santa Barbara COP review ultimately found no voter fraud.
Because that would be falsified. Meaning, I've never seen your signature before.
Fact-checked, bro. Now, pro-truth. You're so rude, dude. Rude. Wow.
But if you sign up, register to vote with a picture of Kirby, anyone in the world can draw the picture of Kirby. So in California, the challenge that
but not everybody has the same name, the same social security.
But the point is, if a ballot is received by a homeless shelter, anyone can fill it out and draw a picture of Kirby star.
God, dude, why are these people so bad faith? Like, they're just, bro. They always try to get you to get to this part, and just fucking admit it. Some voter fraud happens. Like, it does happen. Some people just cheat when they do this. But, like, it's such a small minority of the vote. And if we have a way to discourage that, we should. Like, fuck yeah. That's just a common sense thing. We should have less voter fraud. but I would imagine the voter fraud is like in the 0% tile. Like, and even like, let's say 1%. Like, bro, yes, we should improve our voting laws, but those are up to the state. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you a conservative or are you not? Like, if the state wants to run certain laws, that's what they run. And you don't really get to dictate that or control that. That's not how it works. State rights are state rights. People should run for those voting laws in their state. That's fine. Or what they want changed. Like, do that on a local level. Fuck yeah, dude. Democracy. But there isn't mass voting fraud. And stop conflating these two issues. It doesn't do you guys any, it makes you guys look fucking insane. Like, let's argue for the values that you're supposed to put out there. State rights. You don't want federal oversight on your fucking elections, because that's, if they could get corrupted, that's how you would do it. Having 50 different fucking hands in the pot makes it harder to corrupt. It might means that every once in a while one state might get a fucking little wild sometimes. Maybe a handful get a little wild sometimes. But like 50 unique actors is harder to corrupt than just one figurehead. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. The fact that I have to explain state rights to a fucking conservative, I feel is like the most insane thing in my life, dude. Maybe he is a moderate, dude. But like, not in the way that matters, dude. He's a conservative, but he has a moderately fucking retarded mind.
There's a limited number of ballots that get sent to registered voters who are registered with the state.
Well, it's universal mail-in voting. And for instance, there was a homeless shelter in Venice Beach that received 185 mail-in votes despite no one living there. And so,
yes, because people that live on the street have addresses registered to shelters because they don't have anywhere else to get mail.
And so what we've already seen is undercover video showing that...
Yeah, I know nothing about that fact, but that was like, that dude, like the quickness in which he responded to that was impressive. Either he read that or he just inferred like a logical conclusion there. But like, if he inferred that, that's even more impressive.
Activists do go to places like Skid Row and secure voter registration, where in one video, a man who's clearly not a woman says...
It's so
his name is
crazy that we live in a...
We brought it back to trans shit! Cook him, Destiny.
I'm so glad that things are happening the way that... No, actually I'm not, because you'd think you're going to win these arguments, but in actuality, they just become more retarded. In a time where Donald Trump controls every facet of government, you have all these conservative executive bodies all over the country, Trump is willing to charge Comey with incitement to violence. I don't actually know what the actual charge is, but they're willing to go after Comey for that 8647 thing, willing to fabricate mortgage fraud document charges against a whole handful of people. All of this stuff happens, but they haven't found a single person yet to charge over all of this rampant voter fraud. How the fuck is that possible?
God damn, bro. You would think with all the incentives and backing in the world, with that unmasked fucking Congress and the Senate, like, he literally could have just done a whole campaign on voter fraud. Why aren't they finding it? Despite them trying. They sent, what's her name, Tulsi Gabbard to, like, North Carolina to investigate this shit. And she found, so far, nothing. Maybe they're going to do, like, some big bombshell drop just before, you know, the midterms.
So much control. So much investigatory ability. So much everything. No, where is all the voter fraud? Where is it? Why haven't you charged anybody? Where the fuck is it?
Teresa, sure, he'll fill it out. Now, the problem is that man will fill this out under the name Teresa. He'll put an X, a mark, which is legal in California. The other issue is that ballots can be received.
Teresa,
so
yeah.
it gets complicated, but in California, if a ballot is received before the election, it can be hand dated. If it's received after the election, it has to be post dated. However, a ballot can only be rejected if two independent officials can prove beyond a reasonable doubt it has violated one of these tenets. So I do take issue with Republicans saying voter fraud all the time. It's received after the election, it has to be post-dated. However, a ballot can only be rejected if two independent officials can prove beyond a reasonable...
Bro, your co-host ran on voter fraud shit in a debate against Destiny 2 years ago. Your platform screams voter fraud almost as much as it screams about the Civil War. America's gonna face the Three Kingdoms era. Yeah, dude. I love that. Dude, the fall of the Han Dynasty was wild, dude. I would definitely be fucking pro-Shu, dude. The Shu Kingdom, despite Wei ultimately being the ones who won it and creating the Jin Dynasty, bro.
That's the standard, but okay.
It has violated one of these tenets. So I do take issue with Republicans saying voter fraud all the time when it's legal to do this in California. But I think if you go to a regular American and say, you ask him this question, and I'll ask you this question, how did Nithya Raman surpass Karen Bass, both Democrats, in mail-in votes only after Election Day?
Because young people vote later, and Nithya Raman won the young vote.
Well, the truth is that the DSA on their website advocates for ballot harvesting, which is legal, and they're allowed to do it.
He gave you an answer. He doesn't
More
like
power
it.
to him. It's very smart.
So do the Republicans. They go to senior centers all across the country and
Okay,
get
we're going to pause here.
Bruh.
Voted out by the majority.
Good talking with you.
God, he's such a slimy fuck, man. He points to like these like Trump equals Dong Zhuo. Fuck yes, dude. Trump is so Dong Zhuo. Bro, who is your main character, bro? Because dude, Ma Chao, dude. No, dude, Dong Zhuo. Yeah, dude. Ma
If you'd like to be the
Chao,
next
bro.
debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
I want to die already.
Likewise.
Elections, as you were talking about the other person before, I think are sacred. I think elections are sacred, and I believe that they are the most fundamental thing to American values and democracy. We have never seen, ever in American history,
Is that Lou Boo? Even at the beginning of my Lost and Found episodes, there's a quote from what is it? Dynasty Warriors 3 in it. You flaming idiot! Take this! And that's like one of the Yellow Turban Rebellion levels, dude.
attempt to subvert a free and fair election compared to how Donald...
Dude, Sun Jian in the later ones was fucking awesome, bro. The flame sword that he get, oh my Jesus.
Trump and his cronies did on January 6th. And I think
on.
that it's absolutely ridiculous to claim that that is somehow comparable to the Biden administration talking to Facebook and certain social media platforms to ban Donald Trump, when social media platforms have been under attack by Donald Trump as well. We had in Florida how the right now chair of the RNC is now pursuing legal action against Facebook, Twitter, etc., for banning Donald Trump, which was a decision that they made without Biden's interference.
Well, I don't.
Nice. That was a good bounce back, bro. The Zhou Tai was sick, bro. And if I had to be a character in the later games, like I more fit the Ding Fong type, bro. Did his kid make it to Dynasty Warriors? I haven't played since 13. Since I was, oh, dude. Yeah, dude. Sun Jian, dude. Sun Se, Sun Quan or Quan or whatever. They're all pretty sick, dude. You can also be his daughter. Yeah, dude, some of them get pretty fucking wild. Yeah, Sun Ce uses 2 fucking tonfas, bro. Except in Dynasty Warriors 6, where he used a spear because they redid everyone's models and took away their. But 6 Empires, he was back, baby. Yeah, dude. But Sun Ce doesn't live long in the actual. He dies pretty quickly, dude. The little conqueror, man. And also his voice acting in Dynasty Warriors 3 was so bad when he'd just call him, "What are you doing, Pops?" Like, the Nikki, no! What up, girl?
I don't think arguing like a civil litigation is it's hard to argue civil litigation as a big political issue. If there's a contract violation committed by a company and Trump wants to sue them, certainly if you have the opinion you don't believe that
it's
you believe there's malice there.
It's the current RNC chair.
Right.
That's
Anybody can sue anybody.
Like regulatory
Anybody can
action
sue
against
anybody.
them for banning Donald Trump.
Right. So these are civil issues, and
Yes.
the challenge is I don't know the facts. You don't know the facts.
You don't think civil issues can be political?
They certainly can. But the point I'm making is that sometimes companies do bad things, and we need regulatory bodies to go after.
Yeah, dude, they just married her to Liu Bei, so like they would be allyship, and then the the Wu Kingdom betrayed Shu at Fawn Castle, and that's when they killed Guan Yu, my boy, dude.
After them, I'm in favor of that. Now the question is,
Like
are the Republicans
all
bad for
voting
doing it?
issues like this are brought up civilly. You do understand that, right?
Sorry, dude. Politics, yeah, dude. I had to get a video out, and I haven't done politics in a minute, dude. I haven't watched a debate, but this isn't much of a debate, dude. Tim Pool's just lying nonstop. I guess it's modern politics.
Right,
Yeah.
like all of the Trump lawsuits, if it's a person suing another person, those are all civil issues. There were no voter fraud indictments. You didn't have the DAs or the attorney generals or the federal attorney general. Like these were all civil cases. Like all of these voter claims or whatever were investigated on the civil side of things. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know how you can just say, oh, it's civil, doesn't matter.
Honestly, I don't know because I don't know the underlying issues of the case. Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
So I'll bring up another instance.
Hell
in
yeah.
Massachusetts.
Dude, my favorite thing is they put Dave right behind him, and you can just see his fucking face reactions every time Tim Pool says something insane.
for example, we just had 2 Republicans who were running for attorney general and lieutenant governor who were literally faking signatures on their ballots.
Yes.
Literal dead people.
We can't lock them up.
If you look at the papers,
they were pardoned, bro.
They're the same signatures down the ballot.
Yeah.
It's the same person, this
third
party that they hired, who is literally had the same exact handwriting. And they
I will say one criticism that I have to give Tiny is you hear him do that all the time. Whenever someone says, "Oh, is this bad?" and he'll be like, "What do you want me to say?" Like he literally does it. Yeah, it's weird.
Lock them up.
Thousands of signatures across Massachusetts were then considered moot because they were literal dead people.
What do you say, moot?
From all across the state. And those 2 Republicans. Right. And you have, I mean, there are countless instances of Republicans, not just Donald Trump, trying to subvert American elections. And I think that is one of the most authoritarian things that anybody in this country can do, is to subvert the free and fair elections of the United States.
I think certainly that we have a problem with 2 ancient political parties.
Both
I think the
sides,
real big picture is here. And
Oh, dude, is he gonna make an appeal to like the America First movement, like Tucker Carlson? Is he in that camp? I haven't watched any of his content since I've been to Canada, because I've had, I don't want to end up on any list. You know what I mean? I'm watching this through Destiny, so because I figured there was going to be like some edits on the video or whatever, so that you could stream it, because like usually Jubilee doesn't let you do it, but I also don't want to support Tim Pool ever, dude. So, and I do like supporting my boy Tiny. So,
and I'm not saying this to dismiss your anger over what these Republicans did. You're certainly warranted to believe that. I agree. I think they should go to jail for that stuff. The problem is both political parties are playing this procedural game of trying to steal elections through the procedure instead of convincing people. The Republicans are redistricting in all of these different states to give themselves.
January 6th was procedure.
Oh god, dude. These guys are gonna walk into so many landmines, bro. Their positions, bro.
I'm talking right now about both parties. Certainly January 6th was a riot, and it was very, very bad. We can agree on those things. I'm saying that both parties have these procedural efforts to increase their ability to win elections.
It was a riot that led into an insurrection. Let me correct you, dipshit. Since for some reason Tiny isn't doing that. I think Tiny needs to step up his reactions, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't like to be critical of the king, but like, you should be talking more, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Don't just watch content. I understand that you want to be invested, bro, but like, you do a lot of watching without interjection, my dude.
Elections. Right now, Republicans are redistricting.
I fundamentally disagree with that, because Republicans were the ones that voted against a bill to ban gerrymandering federally in the United States. Republicans were the ones that continuously deny the fact that Joe Biden won the 2020 election free and fair. Democrats have not once, and they have been very consistent on this, on protecting American elections. It's in our name.
Democrats in 2016 accused Donald Trump and his associates of being Russian assets and trying to steal the election to pass of a foreign adversary, going so far to accuse the president.
But they did. Like, if you actually go through the indictments and the actual evidence, Russia did support Trump in this election. And people in Trump's campaign, not Trump himself, did work with Russia. Yes, that did happen. So they weren't just blanket accusations. Like, I wish people just lie about Russiagate, bro. It's fucking wild, dude.
President of the United States of treason. There was a multi-year investigation that cost tens of millions of dollars.
It didn't cost anything. They made all the money back by the assets that were seized by Manafort, a really fucking weirdo dude that was working in an unofficial matter with Russian assets in Ukraine. And
yep. Thank you. See, there we go. This is Destiny. Thank you, bro, because I don't remember all the fucking names.
That investigation did produce a ton of good stuff, lots of credible indictments, lots of good convictions. So I don't know what any of that.
I got you, Nikki. Have a good time, girl. Be safe. Much love. Party hard. And don't worry, it's not always going to be politics.
All of that was wrong.
This is the president of the United States of treason. There was a multi-year investigation that cost tens of millions of dollars that ended up being nothing. That's election denial. Now, I don't think that's as bad as a bunch of people.
That's not election denialism. And we found shit. People got pardons. Yeah, no, he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't do, you know what I mean? Like, people in his orbit were working with people in the Kremlin. Like,
people storming the Capitol. That's terrifying and substantially worse. Physical violence. But yeah, I think if you look back at the history of this country going back decades, it would be a bit naive to say that the political parties aren't doing everything in their power to steal power from each other.
Again, so I mean, I don't want to pivot to Mueller, which in fact also.
Yeah, fight him on that, dude. Like, we see too much ground on that fucking Russia shit. we should use that as like a bigger attack vector. I understand that so many people in the environment just don't like hearing about Russia anymore, but like, there's a reason why Russia wants Donald Trump in that seat over Biden and Harris. There just is. I'm not saying that like Donald Trump is a Russian puppet, but like Donald Trump is more amenable to Russian plights than the other administration. And that's enough to say that there's a reason, like that alone could be like, oh, he'll be kinder to them. You know what I mean? Like there's like, you don't need to like do some grand conspiracy. That Donald Trump will just be kinder to Russia's wants and desires. That's enough right there to say that like they're more aligned. Like, of course, Russia would want him in. Like, you don't even have to go down like, even though there was stuff, like you don't even have to go down that crazy direct rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
When Mueller passed away, rest in peace, an American hero, Donald Trump literally said, "I'm glad he's dead," and he no longer can hurt innocent people.
I know.
So, like, again, another instance of Republicans, I would consider threats against people like that authoritarian.
Throw him out there. When he said that, I said it was disgusting. I mean, it's horrifying.
I don't care that much, though.
But it doesn't change the fact that Bernie Sanders had the election taken away from him illicitly. I think in 2016, I was fervent for Bernie. He was talking about securing borders.
Yeah, see, like I told you, I was on the same path this guy was, but when MAGA came up, I stayed to the, left. Like all of my MAGA, like all my buddies that went to MAGA type people, I don't understand, bro. I don't get it.
Because the Koch brothers, industrialists, wanted to bring in cheap labor. He was talking about getting better wages for the working class, supporting unions. And I said, this is the only guy who's been speaking to issues for the past 20 years that actually matter to working class American people. And what did the Democratic, absolutely, and what did the Democratic Party do? They used super delegates to make sure he could not win.
Okay, so.
God damn it, bro. I can't. These fucking far leftists, dude. He was never a liberal. Tim Pool was a leftist, didn't like the result of one of his things, and then he switched to MAGA because their ideology is interchangeable, bro. Because they're both anti-liberal individuals.
First off, I'm a big fan of Bernie myself, so I guess it's something you could agree on there. I will say that if you as a supporter of Donald Trump, I find it kind of ironic that you believe in anything closely related to Bernie Sanders.
Well, it's not.
I'll give you a few examples.
9 million people who are Democrats voted for Donald.
Yeah, because you guys are fucking insane. And you guys were never Democrats. You guys were DSA dick sucks. And if you didn't get what you want, you didn't support the party. That's just all it was, because you never were. Like, gee, look at this dude's face back here. He's fucking flabbergasted.
Donald Trump in 2016.
Yeah, and I also say 3 million, millions of people, I think it was a couple million in West Virginia, your state, that voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary and then had to switch to Donald Trump. I criticize my own party for that. And I think that...
No, fuck that. Bernie Sanders was crazy. I take all of my support for him back. Hillary Clinton was dope. I should have voted for Hillary Clinton. I should not have voted for Harambe. I messed up in 2016. Just because I didn't like, I didn't like Hillary. I didn't like Hillary either. I voted Harambe, dude, in Ohio. I can't say honestly I hated the vote outcome. He did things, but I was also for Obama, so I don't know. Yeah, dude. I mean, I never voted Trump, but I did essentially, in a sense, vote for Trump because I voted for Harambe. So that vote didn't go to the Democrats. So, and he unfortunately, I think, won Ohio. So my vote did technically assist Donald Trump getting in. And I didn't really hate Donald Trump that much in the first term, but that's just because I wasn't as politically as awoken as I was awake as I am today. Like Donald Trump did a lot of bad shit. Like I love his 2018 farm bill. That's fucking amazing. I do like the vaccine and I do like his based takes sometimes, bro. That ape got so many. Yeah, dude. I voted for Harambe, dude. Fucking rest in peace, Harambe, dude. Fuck that little white boy. He fucked up. I'm taking that back, dude. Violence to kids is never okay. But he was just a monkey, bro. And you came into his space. That was his home you fell into. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was wrong. My point is not that the Democratic Party has never, ever used something or participated in saying bad faith in elections. My point is that we see consistently from Republicans, consistently over and over again.
Parties.
Again, I think that's like
both sides, bro.
You literally had Donald Trump try to support the fair election.
You just got both sides.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
So, yeah, you're not going to have me defending the Democratic Party. I mean,
let's go.
God damn it, bro. I hate all these spineless fucking DSA dick sucks. Defend the Democratic Party. Stand up for liberalism and liberal fucking values. Stop rolling over to fucking populist fuckfaces like this that help lie to the American people, man. Why would you give him that?
Oh, like a lot of people,
and I don't want to defend Republicans
we're moving towards fascism on
Both
both
sides.
sides. Do you want
Oh, god damn it. You Hassan fucking watching dick suck. I'm going to lose my goddamn... Someone vote this motherfucker out.
to bring up two unique things that Trump has done that no one has ever done in United States history? So two is suing a pollster for a poll he didn't like in the state of Idaho. And I think the biggest issue is the Israel issue. So you have someone like Trump who, sold TikTok to Larry Ellison, and he also owns CBS News.
Oh, yeah.
Paramount
entirely.
Right. I think we both agree.
Just remember, every issue boils down to either transgender shit on the right or Israel-Palestine on the left. Jesus fuck, man. Either way, the solution is that Jews control everything. I just want to blow my brains out when I watch politics, dude. Holy fuck.
I agree that's just not good where you give someone a media apparatus, and a social media apparatus like TikTok.
These things worry me for sure. I think where we're going to agree with like Democrat and Republicans is the issue of Israel, particularly. Yes. If we're talking about authoritarianism, this is why I say like don't defend Republicans.
Just remember, I've been saying since the beginning, the American First Nick Fuentes type and the far lefty Hassan type are the same fucking people. They use the same arguments, same attacks. They agree on so much of the same shit. This argument is always against liberal people versus illiberal people. This person right here is more in line with Hassan than he will ever openly admit.
The answer is no. Whew, man. That's all I got to say. Jeez.
There's some things I will, but the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, I feel like, as an establishment, largely align with each other, and then there are these like lesser issues that divide. And I think when you look at TikTok, I'll tell you this: the TikTok was sold explicitly because of Israel.
Right.
So the story is this: initially, Republicans were very mad about TikTok because it seemed to promote progressive.
Remember, Jews control everything. That's the narrative, and that's not anti-Semitic to people like Pisco. Like, jeez.
Content, progressive ideology. Republicans had been banned. People who support Trump had been banned. So the Republicans come out and say, we got to ban TikTok. We can't do this. Democrats said no. But then something changed. After October 7th,
this is talking about Taylor Lorenz and a bunch of other sloppulous people have seized on the idea that TikTok was the only place where you could finally truly hold Israel accountable. And the young people were finally getting the accurate information about how evil Israel was. And then they came and they shut down TikTok with the way that Israel used to lose to the Palestinians on propaganda. So they hated that.
Kind of critical of Israel and supportive of Palestine. Yes. All of a sudden, the Democrats are like, you know what, now we agree with Republicans and we've got to ban TikTok. And then Trump comes out and says, no, we're not going to ban it, which he does not have the authority to do. The bill was passed. It was signed by the president. When Trump came in office, he was supposed to initiate that ban. But instead, what did he do? He sold it to a supporter of his to change the structure of that content to benefit his worldview, which does align largely with many establishment Democrats.
Yeah, I agree. And, you have him sanctioning the ICC, the prosecutors.
Like, bro, Hassan's people have no idea how fucked they are. When they can't push back on far-right talking points, like, this is why, Hassan, I still think Hassan is an anti-Semite. I 100% believe that. But, like Hassan's rhetoric leads to more anti-Semites. Because right now, we probably have one guy who's probably an anti-Semite, I assume. We'll find out based off of what we go into, agreeing with a far-right anti-Semite, which I assume if Tim pulls on the idea that Jews control everything, then he's there, dude. Like, fuck.
I mean, this is the fascism we're talking about. So when you have, Russia and China that don't want to participate in the Western system, this is why. And then you have France, that's trying to get away from the tech companies because our own politicians in those that legislation, they put that that any country that has these databases will be forced to give the data to them.
I think if it is not a singular issue of Donald Trump. Like, clearly the Democratic Party joined in the cheering on of the banning of TikTok because of this content.
To be clear, so I think that bill was signed in Trump's first term, and I think Biden kind of just had to go through with it because it was already passed as a law. But then when Trump came on in his second term, he decided to stop enforcing it because he thought TikTok favored him more. So I mean, I don't know. Was Biden supposed to just undo the law? Like, it's kind of a bullshit proposition, in my opinion. But
shows that we've got an authoritarian problem.
Well, I would probably agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that Jews control Hollywood, but a bunch of Jews probably exist in Hollywood that fund a lot of these movies. Like, that's not the same thing to say that Jews have a top-down control of our government or some Zog bullshit. But yeah, I could agree that some people that probably got their money in investment banking type shit or the entertainment business or anything like that, they would probably be more left-leaning, and they would probably be Seth Rogen is a Jew, you know what I mean? But I don't think that Seth Rogen is a mouthpiece for the Israeli stuff. There's just overlapping coincidences here. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, some people like can be rich in Hollywood and be Jewish, and like Harvey Weinstein at the time. Like, Harvey Weinstein was probably a Jewish person, and like he probably had like, you know, a lot of control in that space because he paid for like some of the biggest movies of the time and generation, and he abused his power significantly. Like, you know, that's not like an Israeli corporation in control of like all of these things and forcing like certain messaging and certain things, but like a Jewish person did have control over a major network. You know what I mean? Like, in like Hollywood, and then he used that control to abuse and sexually assault women. You know what I mean? Like, but like, just because Jews exist and are producers on films and stuff like that doesn't mean that like there's a Jewish control apparatus. Like, Jews have been made fun of in media for my entire life. Like, Seth Rogen has been making fun of Jews forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like his like Family Guy made fun of Jews so much, and I think they canceled one show, Do You Wish Upon a Weinstein or whatever, or something like that, because like it was a little too controversial. But like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a different thing, that there's like overlapping agendas, but that doesn't mean that like the Jews control all of Hollywood. Like, there's probably a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood that have a lot of financial backing, and they like are either willing to or not willing to fund your projects. You know what I mean? Like, there's a different thing than like the Jews control this area.
In this, you know, elite circle of whatever the military-industrial complex or big banks and all of these, you know, wealthy groups, they're interested in similar things.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay,
but
we're gonna pause here. You've been voted out by the majority. You can return to your chair.
We got a little bit. Nice meeting you.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey,
nice to meet you.
Gotta say, I'm not a fan of either party.
Wow, so brave.
Same boat as you on that one.
Yay! Another both parties are the same bullshit. Like, is this liberals? Like, why are these liberals so fucking weak-willed liberals, bro? What the fuck is this? Is this liberals or are like fucking DSA agents up here, bro?
Yeah.
The left embracing authoritarianism. Right now, they don't have the House, they don't have the Senate, they don't have the White House, they don't have a majority in the Supreme Court. If these guys are authoritarian, they're the crappiest authoritarians I've ever seen. They got to go back to authoritarian school and learn how to be authoritarians.
Well, or how to win. Right, losing, you can still be an authoritarian.
How to win? Dude, we beat your ass in more elections. You guys had one fucking popular vote win in like 50 fucking years. Shut the fuck up. What? You guys win one election and you like, that's like getting first place once in your life and then writing a book about how to get first place. Sorry, Donald Trump's entire fucking career and being a businessman. I'm sorry. Propped up by fucking live TV or fucking reality TV. Yeah, tell me how to win, fucking bitch.
Like, Nazis lose power, but they're still Nazis.
Well, they're losing at all levels. They're losing everywhere.
Yeah, the Republicans crushed them. And I think
doesn't mean they're authoritarians, though.
Well, no, I mean, you can be an authoritarian and lose, right?
Okay, so there's 3 actual elements that we need to talk about authoritarianism. One is dismantling institutions. One is eliminating
That's why I hate
opponents.
the fucking this definition thing of like, what does it mean to be an authority? What does it mean to be a Nazi? What does it mean to be a fascist? Because it's like then you get hung up on all these like, well, let's define all of these legs of this thing, and then well, technically everybody tries to dismantle institutions. Everybody tries, and it's like,
and suspending elections.
Those are very specific claims to some authoritarians.
I haven't seen those elements present within the left at all.
Donald Trump was arrested several times.
That's not authoritarian, bro. Someone getting arrested and being part of a political opposition is not the same thing as going after Donald Trump because he's a political opposition. Donald Trump was investigated, found guilty of things, or found to have done enough wrong to get indictments. Those indictments went to a traditional review, and then they passed out those indictments. Donald Trump got arrested. Like, that's not the same. Like, oh my God.
With exception of one, that was the eliminating opposition. I did see it, but
so
it was...
when they arrested Donald Trump several times and then tried to get they filed a suit at the Supreme Court to get Trump banned from being able to run.
I don't remember.
Because he led an insurrection against the United States of America with 6 different fake electors. You fucking retard. He was impeached over this. And the Senate said, well, he can't run again, or he's not going to run again. He's out. So let's just not fucking impeach him all the way. Because there was a Senate that has been Republican fucking majority for fucking ever. Like, God damn it, dude.
remember that, but I do remember,
remember
some
that?
guy at a rally going,
The 14th Amendment
lock
question.
her up, lock her up. Who was that person again? I forget. All right, it was the same guy who weaponized the DOJ against all his political opponents, or deployed the National Guard to beat down on protesters, deployed
When did
ICE
he
to
deploy the
terrorize
National Guard to
families
the-
and tear apart communities, or launched the SAVE Act to try and just put voter suppression pacts in place so we could steal an election, imprison
But, you
protesters
know,
for 10 years for
I think
marching down the
the,
streets.
I don't like this guy, but like he's got the right energy, bro. Just fucking talk over this guy. He's just gonna fucking Gish Gallop bullshit and abstract his way from a fucking point and retreat into philosophy definition bullshit. Like the point of using definitions is so that we can be more accurate in what we're talking about, not to abstract away from the possibility of the conversation continuing. If you get into a conversation with people like Pisco or Andrew Wilson, like these people abstract their way from a point intentionally. It's like the same reason when Jordan Peterson sits there and goes, well, what do you mean by believe, bucko? Like he's doing the same shit. They're pulling themselves away from the point of the conversation in like what appears to be a good faith way of like determining definitions, but it's to muddy up the conversation so nothing goes anywhere and no statements of any value are actually given. Andrew Tate say what? I'm sorry.
I think
Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. I'm ready to mobilize you to launch another insurrection. Let's go.
If you'd like a soapbox,
who is that guy again? I forgot. Who is that guy?
If you'd like a soapbox, we can set one up for you. But if you want to have a conversation,
Go
I'm
for
sitting
it.
right here.
Go for it. I think the position is indefensible, but I'd love to hear your take. Go for it.
Well, you're allowed to not like Trump. He's done a lot of bad things. Thank you. Now, we were talking about the Democratic Party, the things they've done, and I think, and I'm not saying this mercifully, but I think there's many things that you're ignorant of the Democratic Party has done. You talk about suppression of their political opponent. Well, yeah, they sued so that Trump could not run for office. They
didn't sue so Trump could not run for office. Donald Trump should have been barred from running for office because of the actions that he did on January 6th. And you should feel somewhat discouraged for voting for him because those actions are definitionally un-American, anti-democracy, and anti-everything that we're supposed to stand for. And anti-state rights, which is supposed to be a core pillar of Republican fucking ideology, bro. That we don't want a strong federal government. And yet here they are supporting the guy trying to override states' individual autonomy and force his will upon them. Like, what the fuck, dude?
They tried to claim he was an insurrectionist. He was ineligible. He was arrested several times. They arrested his lawyers. Now, by all means...
Why did they arrest him, dipshit? That kind of like is important in the equation, motherfucker.
Every authoritarian makes the argument they're justified in their use of authoritarian tactics to remove their political...
How is it authoritarian for arresting someone that led an insurrection against your country? What? That's called justice, motherfucker. I hate these people.
Opponents. That doesn't change the idea, or I should say the philosophy behind what they're doing. So if you want to accuse Jenna Ellis, for instance, of doing something wrong because she drafted a letter arguing on Trump's behalf, that's authoritarianism. By all means, you can say she was wrong to do it, she's a criminal, but we are seeing, when you start going after people's lawyers, by all means, tell me you think she's a criminal and deserves it, and I will tell...
Why did we go after their lawyers? What disinformation did they spread? Why did Fox News have to pay almost $1 billion in defamation cases for airing Trump's denial electionism? Why are there leaked text messages from that organization saying, what the fuck are we doing? Come on, man.
Tell you, the people of this country now stand in fear that Democrats are going to arrest them if they engage in illegal practices.
We're going to pause here. We are out of time.
My next surrounded claim is that the United States is tracking towards a civil war.
How do they
You've been saying that for fucking your entire career.
keep losing these mics? They're having to pick up on background mics. What's going on?
1.
Yes! Get him, Dave!
Yep. You miss me? So, listen, I think that we are getting closer towards a peak of...
Where the fuck was that?
Civil unrest in this country, and in all honesty, I'm going to blame people like you. This entire time, you've been trying to blur the line between what separates you and a person like me and everybody in the circle. Okay. The truth is you don't agree. On your show, you have 5 white supremacists around you and 1 liberal lawyer talking about why we should protect the Constitution. On Twitter, you're mentioning the Civil War and why we need to have a Civil War 24/7. No, you've said Civil War numerous times.
You're implying and you infer it, asshole. And you are also implying what side you're on in that Civil War. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing a mind game when you do it. Yeah, you can, like, legally say you're not saying it, but, like, come on.
Slates of screenshots over the last 4 years alone.
Saying that
I'm not
there will
talking
be
about shooting
one
ivermectin
is
up your
very-
ass.
I've never
all the time.
I've never advocated for ivermectin. You have literally no idea what you're talking about. You've not done any research.
Dude, we all know what he's talking about. I've watched you for years.
And you've never used
Time to
Google.
grandstand.
I've never advocated for ivermectin, not once.
He's not going to
In
stop
fact,
talking. You're going to waste
I've
time.
never used it. I've never used I said no.
Hold on.
You shouldn't use it.
I'm going to get to
so
the point
if you
here.
want to make things up,
Are you an
and you
intellectual or are you too much of a child to
you want
stop
to just
talking?
waste time, then we can waste time. But
Get
if
him.
you
You're wasting time right
argument,
now.
so if
I'm
you
about to give it to
agree
you.
with
Get
me on
him.
the issue, but you don't like me, then we can agree. And you
No,
can
I think
Get him, Dave. Come on. Fuck him up.
responsible. I
That's
think you're
fine.
responsible.
You can get up
An
and leave
individual
that.
like your man.
If you agree,
you just don't want to finish. You know where I'm going to go with this.
Do you agree?
You so mistrust the
You're
United
allowed
States
to blame me
institution.
all you want, and then we can agree and you can leave.
You just want to run away from the
Are
conversation?
you here to dispute my claim or agree with it?
I think you're responsible.
That's fantastic. Thank you and have a nice day.
Oh, you don't want to hear why you're responsible?
It doesn't matter because you're here to dispute my claims, right? Not
It
agree
doesn't
with
matter.
me?
You don't. All of a
Is
sudden, you want to
this-
stick to the definition
is
of
this
your
the
claims when it comes to
agreed
just about
show?
everything.
Are you
Everything else
supposed to agree with me and sit here and agree
You're not
with
going to
me?
stop talking.
Dude, Dave, come on, bro. You're not supposed to like do this in public, bro. This is like considered a crime.
Talking are you?
Are you going to sit here and agree
Ready to
with me?
control yourself? You're like 50 years old,
You're
bro.
going to sit
Calm
here and
down.
agree with me?
Calm down.
You come down.
I
you
don't
sit
agree
down,
with you.
you
That's
don't
everyone
say
vote
everything,
him
make
off.
fake claims.
Of course I do.
I've
If
never
anybody's
advocated-
doing something
never-
that they don't
I've
actually
never
believe in, it's
advocated
you,
for
because you're getting paid by
ivermectin.
the
In fact, I
countries.
argued
You're
with
an
Joe
asset
Rogan
for
on
foreign
his show.
adversaries, bro.
I advocated
You're an
on
asset
Joe
for foreign
Rogan's show
adversaries.
against ivermectin.
David, can you please address the claim?
I think America is getting closer to civil war, and it's all because of people like Tim Pool.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Have a nice day.
You're a coward, bro.
Well, if you don't agree with me, I don't know why you're here. Also, I would recommend doing research before you come to a place like this.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head
Wow, dude, do some research coming from the guy who's probably sided with Andrew Wilson, bro.
to the chair
What is this
in
claim?
3,
I think America is
2,
tracking
1.
towards a civil war. What is? I don't understand what. What a
Welcome
weird
back.
claim.
Damn.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you again.
Yeah.
All right, dude, let's go, Stubby.
First time we talked about this was in 2019, so it's been quite a while
I think it was
since
before
we've
that.
been calling
Actually.
for civil war.
I've never called for civil war.
Or not calling for, I'm sorry, said that we're on the
Important
brink of civil war.
And what was the citation? I
Oh
had
my
when I said that?
God.
I would love you to
It was
tell
the
me.
Atlantic.
Okay.
And it was a journal.
2018, he's been saying we're on the brink of a civil war. That's crazy, dude. Like half of my online life on YouTube, he's been calling for. We're on the verge of a civil war, and he's been calling what side he's on. You know what I mean? He's like, I've never called that I want it, but like, I'm letting you know a civil war's coming and what side I'm on when it comes. Okay, buddy.
Journalist who interviewed several national security experts who said that there is a range of opinions in the national security space that the U.S. is trending towards a civil war. Notably, that when you cite people like Stephen Marsh, journalist, as well as Barbara F. Walter, former CIA, the U.S. academics describe the period that we're in as civil strife, meaning there's a criteria of death that has occurred for political reasons over the past year or years, for which the next phase would be civil war. However, tracking towards it, I've not said that it will happen, although there have been many people who have said that we are in a cold civil war or some kind of cultural civil war. I always caveat, because I don't actually have a strong prediction.
First of all, you do have a strong prediction if you've been saying this since 2019. There's
Well, reading
42.
articles about
People
it,
can
sure.
look this up. There's 42 of your titles that have the word civil war in it with big fonts on the front.
They sure do.
So why is that?
Get him, dude.
It's sensationalist. It's easy to get clicks on that.
Yes.
There's a reason why you say it, because it's very profitable for your business.
Not necessarily.
But
We have
there comes a point-
1,600.
Dude, he's been saying it for so long. Like at some point, either it needs to happen or you need to shut the fuck up, because like your prediction models are way off.
100 episodes of just IRL.
There comes a point
Get
where
him.
people stop
Yeah, dude, watching Dave swallow the back is like a fucking treat.
taking your prediction seriously.
Are you going to make an
Like you
argument,
said-
or are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm
Okay,
trying
then
to
let's make an
explain.
argument about whether
I'm
or not
trying.
we are tracking.
Can
No.
you relax?
If you're making an argument, you
he's
don't
mad.
like my thumbnails, or you say my name over and over
I'm
again.
saying that you say bullshit
He's
in order to
mad.
get money.
He's
But
mad.
let me
He's
ask you,
mad.
Yes, dude. Yes. Polarization is up for sure. Is a civil war coming? Dude, if things don't change, probably. But like, bro, why would you like talk about your side and then demonize the other side the entire time while talking about it? Civil war is going to happen because this is what these Democrats are doing. Like, that's very intentional, dude. Because you're selling this to the people. And who's the ones that get the horniest for civil war? Matt Walsh was jerking off on camera for civil war. Ben Shapiro was jerking off on camera for civil war. Steven Crowder said that, like, after Charlie Kirk, that we need to go to civil war against these people. Like what party is the one doing it? Which one is the party that is always trying to succeed from fucking America? Texas, dude. Like, holy fuck, dude. Like, what side is pushing the idea of civil war? Like fucking Hot Wheels. Greg Abbott was talking about that shit, man, over the border shit.
I think
Let me
that's
ask you a
the
question.
predictions.
Let me
Hold
ask you-
on.
let me ask you a
Tim,
question you can't
I will
answer.
agree with you that there's increased polarization. I would attribute a lot of that to people being specifically online.
Let me ask.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
disagree.
less interaction
I
with
completely
people
agree.
that are in
Sure.
different camps.
Let me ask you a question.
But you're going to sit here and tell me that we're way more polarized than fucking Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, who like shot each other.
No, not at all, bro. And we had a civil war. Like, people will say this is the most polarized time in history. Like, bro, we literally killed other Americans for what they believed. You know what I mean? Like, that did happen in America. Like, in America, we don't fuck around, bro. We shoot you in the mouth if you try to leave our America, dude. You don't get to fucking opt out of being American. This is our American sovereignty, bro. You think that we won't kill other Americans? Like, we've done it. You know what I mean? Like, we want to keep our slaves and succeed. Now you don't. And we just went down and shot the racism out of the South, bro. And then we just conceded to beat the fuck out of the South for 200 years afterwards because they kept trying racist shit. Like, bro, America does not fuck around, dude. You will get in line, or you will be forced to by gunpoint, or you will die. Like, that just happens. And that was all liberalism, baby. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, dude. Like, the Charlie Kirk shit is fucking crazy, dude. But, like, political violence is bad. Like, the guy who shot Charlie Kirk, I don't give a fuck if he's on the left or the right. He deserves the fullest fucking extent of the legal fucking framework to go right up his ass. And I disagree with Charlie Kirk on so much shit. Like, any leftist that defends shooting Charlie Kirk, like, I'll make jokes, you know, because I joke about everything. But, like, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die for his bullshit opinions. Fucking full send. But also, at the same time, fuck Charlie Kirk, dude. You know what I mean?
With their disagreements, you're going to tell me that
Aaron
Andrew
Daniels-
Jackson, who's the sitting
Do you want
president,
to have a conversation, or are you just going to be
is
angry?
not
Why was Aaron
polarization?
Danielson shot in the chest twice?
Sorry?
Why was Aaron Danielson shot in the chest?
I'm not disagreeing that political
because he
violence.
was a mRNA vaccine.
You say Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, but then when I ask you a question about an assassination, you defer.
You can say that
Let me
there's
ask you a
a civil
question.
war every fucking year, and it doesn't happen. And
I
you're gonna
never
say,
said
it just
there
hasn't
was.
happened yet.
Let me ask you a
or
question.
if it does happen, you say, see, I've had it all
Let me
along.
ask you a
You were the
question.
same thing as like the
Let me-
Christian
Jesus
rap tribune.
Christ, dude, get him! Blood sports! Don't let this motherfucker lie! Get
The
him!
rapture's coming every fucking year.
Are
when
you-
it doesn't happen,
do you want a
it's like, oh,
soapbox?
it's
Do you want me to get
happening.
you some-
Yeah, David's back here, fucking yeah! Hell yeah, bro.
Together
I
and
can leave.
decide, like, we're just gonna fucking try to rattle them, I guess, or jeez.
It's really easy to like, do what you do. It's really easy to do what you do.
Oh, yeah!
Like, you literally
He busted out the beanie, bro! He was ready! Oh! Let's go.
Do you want me to
Did
get
they
you
like
some
get together and
I can leave.
decide,
You want me-
like, we're just gonna fucking try to rattle them, I guess, or
Yeah, do
jeez.
it.
It's really easy to like, do what you do. It's really easy to do what you do. Like you literally just say, Civil War is happening next year. Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make sure you subscribe to Timcast. Continue to watch my videos, please. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. It's easy to do what you do, bro.
He took the fucking moment, dude. Oh! And then he played it up, dude. Fuck. I mean, it was cringe, but fuck yes. No, I'm not even letting him come back. Who does he talk to after this? Is that Dean? No. All right, yeah, dude. I'm not even gonna let. He's done. His arguments are over. If you walk off of a stage like that, like a bitch, I won't give you more airtime. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh, fucking A, dude. Well, that was a 3-hour conversation. Fucking Tim Pool's a total pussy bitch. Fuck yeah, man. Let's go, dude. I'm talking about it, dude. These people just can't, like, there's nothing wrong with being conservative. But, like, stay true to your values when you're doing so. Like, if you're someone who's, like, for small government, you shouldn't applaud when someone in government oversteps the small government thing. Like, Trump sending things illegally to, states that don't want them is an overreach of power. And if that, like, your problem is with corruption, like, that's a line right there. You should be like, I don't like that. Like, I've called out the actions of the left a lot, and I will continue to do so. The more the left gets cozy with Hassan Piker, the louder and more obnoxious I'm going to get. Because if I'm part of a thing, I'm going to let my opinions be heard in that thing. Now, whether or not people like those, at the end of the day, the marketplace of ideas will pick who wins and who loses. But hopefully it's on the strength of the argument and not necessarily on who's more popular or, who's got nicer abs. Because I'm not going to win that, bro. But, bro, you have to call out bad actions on your side. But we can also understand differences in bad actions. Like the difference between this action and the difference between that actions, intent, motivation, all those things matter. Like all of that context is crucial. But like, that doesn't necessarily mean it washes away or you defend. Like, you cannot defend bad actions on your side. If my team, Democrats, get in bed with Hassan Piker, I'm going to have a very tumultuous relationship with that party. And there's a good chance I don't stay a part of that party. You know what I mean? Like, I am not okay with terrorism. And if you are going to tell me that terrorism is an okay thing to get behind, I don't want to be a part of a party that is. But also, I'm not a guy who could vote for someone who raped somebody. I'm not a guy who could vote for a guy who talked about grabbing women by the pussy and being a piece of shit. Like, I have lines that I won't cross regardless, dude. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have to do what's like the lesser of two evils. And you have to do what's best overall for your country, or what might have the best outcome overall for your country. But like, that doesn't mean that like you have to support or endorse or like tacitly suck the dick of. I don't know, man. I just wish people had more of a backbone for their side. Like, I can critique games I love, songs I love. I'm very critical of everything. Like, my favorite songs have sections of them that I don't like. You can be critical of elements without like destroying the entirety of a thing. I'm a reactor. This is what I react to content. I talk about what I like, what I don't like. Like, when my party does something cool, fuck yeah. When my party does something lame, fuck no. You know, like, I don't know why other people just have such a hard time with that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm fucking wild, dude. I don't know. Anyway, guys, it's been 3 hours. This was supposed to be a short one. I didn't realize how long I was going to be on that and how much I was going to talk, bro. But got to get to clipping some shit and moving some stuff around and get some videos uploaded, boys. Have yourself a wonderful day. Party as hard as you can. You know, do your thing. Peace, love, and chicken grease, dog. Oh, also the